There's way more to avenge. Oh, 50 million souls living in this realm without much hope. Not too long ago, this kingdom was a golden state of hope. Yeah! Restore our glory to live forever. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's broadcast of the NACL Qualifiers here on the CCG channel, where we have got our first playoff match here for CCG as an organization. They're going to be taking on TikTok Tony Top here for a chance to move on to the semifinals and for some of those critical qualifier points to get their way towards the NACL Qualifiers here at the end of spring. My name's Gordo. I am joined on the cast by Axeman. Axeman, how are you doing on this fine morning/afternoon, depending on your time zone here?
I'm doing just fine, Gordo. Thanks so much. What's up, guys? Saxman87. Yeah, just like Gordo said, things are getting pretty tight in the background here with the points coming through. Tony Top just needs one more series win to clinch I guess, enough points to make it through the next tournament. CCG, however, in basically every situation, I believe, needs to make it through to finals. Actually, needing to win finals in some situations. So, pretty tight for us. Pretty loose for Tony Top. They don't have a lot to lose here in this particular series, but we're going to try to take them down regardless, and should be a pretty fun time.
Yeah, a win here for TikTok Tony Top will secure them a spot in those promotion tournaments here. They will be guaranteed top 4 due to their excellent performance back at the first OQ. And then for CCG, as you said, it's a little bit of a tough road. If Native and Supernova both lose, then CCG needs to make the finals. If Native even makes the top 4, then CCG needs to win the finals. So a really long, tough road here for them. Not as tough as for some of the teams here in top 8, though, like Rock Bottom and Mirage. They have no chance of making it at all. So could definitely be worse, and definitely still a little bit of that hope left alive for this squad.
100%. That's what we appreciate is a shot, right? That's what we need for sure. Gurf, we got any clips to go through here in the pre-show? I want to watch the team play. Gurf, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, my man.
We're clipless, Axeman. We're just going to have to go off memories from the series that we watched yesterday. And
I do have memories, man. The Olaf game? Yeah. No, it's awesome. So cool yesterday.
Love the Olaf across the board for Quacker there. He's had some crazy Olaf performances throughout this entire run. Had some great ones up against Miracle. Both series they played. Also got their win up against Mirage on that Olaf. So definitely a big pick to be keeping our eyes on. And then looking over at some of the other champs there, Yama on these pick champions, the Thresh in particular, he has just been absolutely nuts. Especially yesterday was a big part of their victory, was crowned MVP by yourself and Jolly. I'm going to be keeping my eye on that Thresh pick as well, because he hasn't been drawing too many bans on it. It's been a lot about the Lee Sin, a lot about the Olaf, a lot about Yunbi's Orianna, but, not quite as much respect being paid towards the bot lane there.
Yeah, the Thresh, the Ezreal have always stayed up for Selfish Sage and Yama down there. And they've always had access to him. We saw some Karma bans, which is a little concerning because Karma works so well with the Olaf, with the Gwen pick, and really activates team comps here for CCG. So we'll see Tony Top throw some bans at those champions. I think we might see just a Vigar, Ashe, Caitlyn ban from Tony Top. We'll see what Gito wants to do, man. He's a crafty guy, very professional coach, and at times I feel like they certainly don't have too high an opinion of CCG and really the rest of Group D. We saw the interview over there from Out Battery Stream. I think it was Snow 2 called us the Mickey Mouse Group. So maybe they just ban some meta picks and then try to run it into us. But we'll see how that pans out. As always, we do the raffle again today. ! Raffle. We'll enter you in. Get the graphic on these guys, Gurf. Get the graphic in there. Look at it. Look at it.
Boom.
Good stuff. One mystery skin giveaway per game. Again, ! Raffle in the chat enters you to win. It's one skin giveaway per game. So if we go to up in the higher games, you get more skins. So make sure to enter every single game, folks.
For sure, and hoping we go to a few extra games here, it can only be one extra game. It's a best of 3 still. We're not quite at the best of 5 stage of the tournament yet. Won't be until the finals, but, 3 skins, better than 2. Definitely would love to have CCG foot in the bill for a couple of my skin expenses over the course of this week. And best of 3 going all the way. That's one of the better ways to do it. Hope that CCG coming in as the underdog, but hoping that they're going to be able to put up that fight and give us a nice, long, entertaining series here today.
Yeah. Should be a good one. Gurf, where are we at for the lobby? Actually, Gordo would know better than Gurf would.
Yeah, Gordo's piloting the lobby here. He's
Gurf,
on the stream. He's doing a couple different duties here, but we just got ourselves the lobby, Axeman, to answer your question. Shout out to Jess over there in the team management department. getting those lobbies created, making assuaging my anxieties as I'm here doing commentary and looking for the lobby at the same time. It's a big strain on my small pea brain.
It sure is. It's a strain on my brain as well. What do you got in the background back there, Gordo? I see a bunch of pillow pets back there. Is that what they're calling them, or?
I do. My girlfriend's got a whole collection sitting up there right now. I got a new framed capybara we just added as well. We adopted from our local zoo, so they sent us a nice little picture there. So really decking out back behind us, to be honest. I find it helps the vibes for the broadcast quite a bit as some of the players are starting now to trickle into this lobby here. Just got to keep the vibes good. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, it's great vibes. I have my office back behind me. This never enough pixels in this office, I find.
Yeah, I noticed. You got a couple of them acting up a bit there around, the sides of your face. That's an interesting trait to have in an office.
Yeah, they tend to congregate around me, unfortunately. But I think a couple things we're looking for in this series. One, Quacker's been such a good player for CCG. It's such a control point for them up in the top side of the map, and they're going into Tony Top, which is an exceptional top laner up there. So it might be a little bit of different dynamic between these two teams. We might see Quacker up against his biggest contest yet, and will he sink or swim? I certainly hope we get to see him swim a little bit here. I think it would be cool for Quacker to prove himself, get that opportunity, as I have a lot of belief in Quacker on a personal level. So
I do too, man. I've been a big fan of what Quacker's been able to show since his return here. Just kind of unretired this year, was subbing on Wildcard for a little while over in the NACL, and he's clearly, gotten to really return to form from that time there. This is going to be, as you said, his first real test up against Tony Top here. Not to give any bad vibes over towards the rest of the members of Group D there, but Quacker was really dominant in the top lane pool over there, was able to win a whole bunch of lanes, especially on that Olaf. Also was able to have a pretty solid run through the Swiss portion, beating TDK, Seattle Ferocity, Super Sunshine Fruit Basket, Warriors, and Lit. So this now matchup up against TikTok Tony Top, and Tony Top in particular, going to be a big hurdle for Quacker. I'm really curious to see how he's going to be able to perform here, because they've had a different set of signature champions here as well. I feel like Quacker still really well known for the Darius. The Olaf is what everybody's thinking of. His Cassante games have been fantastic, whereas Tony over for TikTok have been just demolishing everybody on the likes of the Jax. He's had some Fiora games in there. He even busted out the Scion once up against St. Clair and was really good on that pick as well. So a little bit of a different champion pool here. And I think that Jax is going to be a pick that I'm keeping a very close eye on for TikTok Tony Top throughout this series.
Yeah, you don't want to give away the Jax to a good Jax, because it just doesn't get better for the top laner. Jax just continues to scale and eventually controls the entire game, which is unfortunate. But down bot side, we already mentioned a little bit about the Karma pick. That Ezreal Karma lane has really activated CCG. Some of their best performances have been through those two champions. The artillery is really solid from them. But really just activating the bruiser picks from Quacker as well with the Karma pick has been so important for them. Their best games are when they have the Olaf Gwen, and the Karma and the Ezreal down the bot side, controlling damage from range. Sophist Sage, I think, honestly, we've seen some really crazy mechanical plays from him on champions like the Caitlyn and a few others, but he really gets to shine with a little bit of mobility, right? With the E, the arcane shift there. We see him, all over the place on the Rift with that particular pick as well. So hopefully we get to see those picks come through. I feel like that's a really strong point for this roster. Also, yesterday when we talked to Yama, we were in the MVP interview. He said they had some secrets up their sleeve and that they were going to draft some things we hadn't seen before here today. So maybe we'll see something we've never seen from CCG, and they'll be able to surprise Tony Top a little bit there. But and a pretty big monster there. Snow2's pretty solid player.
Yep. He did also say he would not tell us whether he would pick Thresh again, but I'm going to be honest with you here, Axeman. I think they're going to pick Thresh again, because that pick looked really good for them yesterday and is a huge staple of the meta right now. Something else in that bot lane, though, to be looking out for is the Ashe. You know, Sophist Sage, he's only gotten to play it once in the group stage. It was in a win over Miracle, but the reason that we don't think about it quite as much and that we only got to see it in that one game is because it gets banned so dang much. There's been 6 Ashe bans directed towards the likes of Sophist Sage and Yama throughout this group stage. The people really do not want CCG to get this pick, and if it can manage to sneak through there, and something that I expect them to be picking, you know, the most banned champions up against them, it is that Lee Sin, it is that Orianna, but that Ashe is also right up there alongside them.
Yeah, the Ashe right in there as well. Teams seem to have identified that they can let Sophist Sage have Caitlyn without too much of an issue, which is an issue for the roster, but you know, I think the Caitlyn looked okay in the series yesterday, and is certainly a tenable pick for him. So maybe something that Tony Top will want to avoid giving over to Sophist Sage. That does mean they're going to have to remove the Olaf or Lee Sin ban from their first rotation there as well. But really like to see them play around the mid lane a little bit more, assist Yunbi on the Orianna pick and really get him accelerated. I feel like that's going to be good for the roster here too. Breaking open the mid lane and rotating over to objectives could be really beneficial for this roster. We've seen them miss objectives quite a few times. We've also seen them stack dragons effectively. Kind of seems like a coin flip whether or not they want to play for objectives, but they look a lot better when they do have those objectives underhand. So we like to see the objective stacking for sure. The Dragon Souls are pretty strong. Yesterday we saw Olaf with the Cloud Soul. Awesome, man. I mean, that's so strong.
For sure. And we haven't even talked about our control mage kings in the mid lane, right? Between Yunbi and Sudzi, these guys have really been dominant on their respective control mage picks. It's been the Orianna for Yunbi all tournament long. Got a little bit of Syndra in there as well. Played a little bit of Azir, a little bit of Victor, but still all going to be falling within that realm. And it's been the same deal for Sudzi. He's been all about the Aurelion Soul. Even with its slight nerfs on the 13.4 patch. Still not as many nerfs as on 13.5, first of all, and still plenty powerful as we have gotten to see. This champion is still very much in the busted category, and Sudzi willing to pull it out whenever it's available. It's 100% in group stage presence for TikTok Tony Top, 4 bans, and a pick there for Sudzi. So not quite as much film on these guys, not as much as for CCG, as they just kind of steamrolled through their group and found their way here, but that does not mean that they are not a team to be afraid of here. You know, they're really going to be quite the threat. If anything, it makes them scarier, right? It means that they have, not many teams have found very many recipes to beat them. You know, everybody's banning the Jaxes, the A-Souls, the Caitlyn's up against them, and those do seem to be some of the picks that they really pivot around, but it's not really resulting in a whole lot of wins other than in that one game up against Supernova.
Yeah, Supernova taking one off of them there. Let's hope we can get Yama into a Chucky's position. Maybe he plays the Ashe support like you talked about. Certainly the Thresh is going to help him out there, look like Chucky's. And that'll give us a victory here. But we'll have to see. How's the lobby going, Gordo?
We're starting to trickle our way in there. CCG, of course, very timely as always. Everybody is in here right on schedule. They're all lined up in perfect LCS order. They are all set to go. We're waiting on those Tony Top guys just a little bit, though. Gurf has told me, though, he's got a little bit of a team fight clip from yesterday. We haven't gotten to roll very many highlights, but looks like we do at least have one to show off here if Gurf can pull that one up for us to check out.
Yeah, here's that final team fight from yesterday. Pretty long, sprawling team fight here. The clip coming through.
Yeah, no, a really good setup here from the rest of the squad. We were getting a little scared of that Bel'Veth at one point in the game, but they do manage to get their way in there, and that's a great ball combo there from Yunbi's Orianna.
Yeah, Bonga sitting down like Quacker, which is nice. The Casanti looked really good yesterday. Got to see that twice from Quacker. Which is good from him. Kind of balances out the champion pool a little bit more. I don't think we're going to see the Darius from Quacker today. But we've been harping on the Gwen for a long time now, man. I hope he pulls that Gwen back out. If we get to see Tony Top on Sion, that Sion-Gwen matchup's going to be really good for us. So
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing about the Cassante, right? Quacker looks very good on it, looks very well practiced, can really assassinate some of those backliners, can really pick off some targets by pulling them through the big old walls. But it's such a normal champion now, X-Man. It's normie stuff. I really want to see some of the spicier picks come out of Quacker here. I love to see the Olaf. Love when we get to see, even something like the Jace or the Gwen. It's not super off meta. It doesn't always have to be Darius, but I want to see him on like these really kind of skill expressive and dare I say more glass cannon-y champions. I think that's really where he looks at some of his best. The Cassante, he's just a tank with a lot of extra stuff dangling off him. It's not the exciting pick that I want it to be. Let it fall out of the meta for 6 months, then I'll be excited for a Cassante pick. But right now, I see that every day, man.
Yeah, we see Cassante all over the place, man. Need something more exciting, for sure. Of course, I'm on Team Olaf, but that's just me. It should eat at least a ban here in the first ban phase, and then we'll see from there on out. But man, oh man, it's gonna be a good series. I was high on TikTok, Tony Tom, yesterday or last week, I think. Last week I was saying, this would be our biggest contest yet, and that seems fairly obvious from the standings. But yeah, I think a nice thing about facing Tony Top here, right at the start of the tournament, is that this is finals. For us, if we beat this team, it's all downhill from there, right? I think our next biggest opponent would probably be Maryville at some point. Or,
as far as points go, for sure.
Yeah, as far as points go. And then Supernovas looked really good there too. So, facing them at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, even well. Supernova, they got rolled over by TikTok Tony Top there. They did manage to take a game, but they did end up losing. So we're talking about teams and how highly they should be power ranked. You definitely have to be putting Tony right up there above Supernova just based off the head-to-head alone. But, as we're starting to get the last few players into the lobby, everybody's starting to ready up. We're 3 minutes past scheduled start time. Want to highlight these junglers. That's really the one role we haven't got to talk about too much, X-Man. And DMK and his very, very scary Lee Sin taking on Wallflower, who has name changed on the live server, and I cannot hunt down any of what he's been playing in solo queue. Really excited to see these guys face off against each other, though. Wallflower, he's the LCS experience in this matchup, man. He's the one who's gotten to play up there before. And with Golden Guardians for that one split, some Academy experience as well. So I'm really excited to see how DMK is going to be able to stand up to him. I think DMK has been a really solid rock for CCG throughout a lot of their run so far. And this is similar to Quacker, going to be his biggest challenge yet.
Yeah, it should be his biggest challenge yet. And I feel like they likely get him, likely going to give him the Lee Sin, I think, here. And, it's a little concerning. The playstyle from the Lee is a little untested. Half of the Lee games we've seen from DMK have been just big first blood double kill games where he was super accelerated, not really tested or worried about anything. Now those are in the 2-0s against Miracle the first time we faced them. So, hopefully the Lee can stand up. If indeed he does get it. If not, we've seen him on a lot of tank picks, which have looked not as good. I know the Maokai pick yesterday looked pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know about you, X-Man, but I am looking at a draft right now. I've got the picks and bans coming up around us. I see the ready-ups coming through, and we are going to be getting into our first draft here. Tony Top going to be on the blue side. CCG taking to the red here for the first match of the day.
So this could be the Karma first pick. We'll see just how, I don't know, I don't want to use the word respectful. We are a CCG here, but yeah, I mean, the DMK Lee Sin ban right out of the gate seems pretty respectful to me. Jito on the good vibes today, I guess. And then we'll see what CCG bans back in return here. Could just be the Ashe ban. Could see a Sejuani ban here coming through. But blue side Gragas first pick is also really nice as well. It could ban that away.
Definitely could. And not going to get to see the DMK Lee Sin first time around here as they make sure to take that one away. The Sejuani going to be banned away here in turn. So they're going to just take away some of those more meta picks. And there goes the Quacker Olaf X-Man. We're going to have to put that one to bed, at least for game number 1 here, and look for some other picks.
Yeah, 100%. This should leave up the Caitlyn, leave up the Ashe pick. Maybe see Yama's Ashe. Could be really good. But also, you know, the Jinx Thresh back-to-back pick is up for them as well. Could see that through. All right, Caitlyn getting banned away. Yeah, we see that Jax ban like you're talking about, taking that off of Tony Top. Maybe they ban away another Tony Top champion here, just to really hammer it home.
Yep, the Caitlyn being banned away by Tony saves us a little bit of work there. That pick's been banned against Levitate a whole boatload. Let's see if the ASOL is going to round stuff out here for CCG if we want to take that one away from Sudsy. Looking at the Wukong, and it does get locked in, so both of our star mid laners, star control mage picks going to be still available here, at least coming into the first round of draft. Let's see if anybody's willing to really aggressively first pick them. There's an Ashe hover, though. That champ is still very strong on 13-4.
Yeah, incredibly strong, right? Flexible down bot side as far as the build path is concerned as well. So really strong support pick. Saw it from Chookies in the tournament. See it all over the world. Could be good here. Varus going to get locked in. Varus Thresh pretty competent for our team.
Yeah,
So
hovering
we'll
it
see that
over.
locked in.
Yeah, it does look like that Varus is selected. We'll see if they want to take that Thresh. It was a secret, as Yama told us yesterday. Perhaps he will be going for that pick here, get a little bit of additional safety. Not a terrible matchup into the Ashe. They are hovering the Nautilus, though, a slightly different hook variety of champion. And that one does get locked in. So we're taking Varus Nautilus here in round one. We're going to keep it very traditional, very meta-focused here so far.
100%. Here's where the big swings come through.
Big
Braum here.
opportunity.
There
There's
you go.
the
lock it
Braum
in.
hover. Locked in, my guy. That's going to
Braum
be...
coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be Ashe ADC, actually, for Levitate. That's been a big support pick throughout a lot of this tournament. But, you know, Sophist Sage has played at AD. Looks like Levitate is going to join them there. And there's that ASOL we talked about. It's being hovered, X-Man. It's a pick that's very scary if Sudsy takes it for himself.
That's a lock-in right there. And they'll feel just fine about that one. We'll see if we get the Gwen blind pick. We've seen it third picked here in the Swiss bracket, which is crazy to me. But looks like they're angling for the Orianna here as the pick into the Aurelion Soul. We've seen Yunbi pilot Orianna into the Aurelion Soul when Ariandel had it, and it was very successful. So hopefully that matchup holds true for him here.
Yeah, I really like this matchup for the Orianna, and I really like it for all of us as viewers, because these are really the signature picks for these two mid laners for what they've been taking throughout this tournament. And it's an interesting matchup because, you know, once he gets a couple of stacks of Stardust, Aurelion Soul really starts to outrange the Orianna for some of these trades. But if you can get the ball on top of him, your damage output is a lot faster. It's a lot bigger throughout a lot of that laning phase of the game. So going to be an interesting matchup to watch play out as top laners are hitting the floor. Jace going to get taken away by CCG. Cassante for TikTok Tony Top.
Can I just say, I'll take the
Hovering the
Cassante ban all day. You know, I would rather have that banned away than anything else, man. That's just fine with me. I said last ban. Don't be Gwen. You tell him Jonesing for Gwen right now, Gordo?
I can tell. I've heard it for about 24 hours now from you, X-Men.
Yeah.
We were here yesterday and you were pumped up
I'm like
for
a
the Gwen
broken
then
record,
too,
man.
and
I'm sorry.
didn't end up coming through. The Vi ban, I think, makes a Gwen just a tiny bit less likely, if I'm being honest here, as that's a big pick into the Vi, being able to cancel out that Assault and Battery ultimate if you get the spacing correct. Pretty big deal.
If this is Nautilus jungle, I'm going to lose my mind, all right?
It's locked, baby.
Just so you
it
know.
could be.
Just so you know, I'm going to lose my mind if it's Nautilus jungle. Just letting you right now.
Would not be the first one of this season. I think it was Rosethorn on Golden Guardians Challengers played a game of Nautilus Jungle over in the NACL earlier this split. So it's got precedence. I am a little bit more likely to consider a Karma solo lane.
Sure.
It would have to be Karma top for Quacker. I think both of those are spicy though, man. I'll take either one. I'm pretty happy to see this double support lock in. Triple support if you count the Orianna. This could be very well set up for some kind of super carry top laner if they want it.
Looks like they're gonna, we're gonna like quote unquote blind pick the Gnar here. If you believe in the Nautilus jungle, it's a blind pick Gnar. If not, hey, that's fine. But this is either gonna be a jungler or a top laner, I think. No, support.
Yeah. Well, no, there's got to be. I mean, it could be a support. It could be a top laner. It could be a jungler.
A jungler.
It's looking
Okay.
like a top laner.
Top laner, which means Nautilus jungle, right?
That does look like it means Nautilus jungle.
That's
It
what
either
that
means
means?
Nautilus jungle or it means Malphite jungle, baby. We're going all the way back to silver with the selections for CCG here.
All right. Everybody quiet down. This is my favorite game ever.
Where's the Nautilus? Where's Nautilus?
I need to know Nautilus is in the jungle position, and then I'm going to lose my mind. And the room behind me, I'm going to set it on fire. This is so exciting, bro. I used to play Nautilus jungle back in Season 6. This is so cool. I can't believe this is actually happening.
In like Season 2.
There you go. There you go.
Way back to like when everybody was building gold gen items. It was like Nautilus Maokai jungle.
Yeah.
You would rush Philosopher's Stone and Heart of Gold and just generate gold.
Just gold it up. Hell yeah.
You're like
man.
another support.
I was playing it with Rangers Hatchet, I think.
Oh.
Something like that.
Oh,
the
we're getting into
smite?
old items.
Yeah, with the old items. The purple smite that did the AoE damage so you could clear the jungle faster. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did in the Nautilus. It wasn't good, but it was fun. And that's what's important. Yeah, if this is Nautilus jungle, I do think CCG win just based off I think just the novelty.
I'll tell you right now, X-Man, we're loading into the lobby, and it is most certainly Nautilus jungle, so we can get excited about that. We are going to have to take a quick break for spec delay here, so that Girth and I can get everything in order, but we're going to be right back in just about 3 minutes for the start of game number 1 between TikTok Tony Top and CCG.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's broadcast of the NACL Quarterfinals here final NACL Q for spring, where we have got TikTok Tony Top taking on CCG in an elimination best of 3. A win here will get Tony Top into that promotion tournament. CCG gonna have to scrape up every win they can get and hope for some other results to swing their way as well if they want to make it to that same tournament.
It certainly will, Gordo. We got a Nautilus jungle. Let's go. Yes. That's what I'm talking about, baby. This is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I cannot believe this. I'm going to talk about this cast in like 10 years, Gordo. Easily.
They ban away the Olaf and they give you one right back.
They give me one right back. Nautilus jungle. I've been playing Nautilus jungle for maybe 10 years. Like actually a decade. And yeah, TMK is playing it here now in one of the most important games of his career. And honestly, based.
I love it. I want to see something a little off the wall from CCG here. I was thinking it was more likely to come from the top lane. And you know what? I'll take the Malphite in that department as well. But this is what you want to do in game number 1, right? You want to throw them off their groove. If they're on paper the stronger team, you definitely want to be bringing out something a little bit spicy. Wallflower's kind of doing that too with this Bel'Veth. Feels like it's not the most stock standard meta pick either. But, you know, it all gets overshadowed by the Nautilus.
What I think is really funny that ended up happening because of both teams' drafts is that there's not a lot of damage in this game. You know, you look at like the Ashe, it's kind of low damage. You know, obviously Braum not really building into the damage, not a double range bot lane or anything like that. You look across the aisle at top of stage. The Varus Karma, more damage, double range bot lane, nice big artillery lane, but that's a lot of burst damage, not so much sustained damage. And then, of course, in the mid lane as well, you have a lot of damage there, but 2 control mages. So, again, not like the highest damage picks you could go. And then, you know, vis-a-vis up into the top side of the map as well. There's not a lot of damage on the Rift right now here, Gordo. So these team fights are going to be a lot slower, and we might see a longer game potentially here.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I think if you can really start snowballing on something like CCG's comp, you can try to close it out fast with all the pick potential you've got. But for sure, if nobody's like off to a massive lead early on, this game could go for quite a long while. So want to shout out Quacker up in the top lane, taking the Arcane Comet on the Malphite. Love to see that one here. Really gives you a little bit of extra harass early on. You know what? You don't need the health later on in the game. What you really need is to make this Gnar feel the pain.
Yeah, you need the pain. You need the pain to come through. A lot of Arcane Comets, actually. There's 3 of them on CCG. So really playing that artillery style with the big guns. These trains are looking good for Yunbi in the middle lane.
Yep. This is that early game Asol. You know, he wants to get his Stardust stacks, but that's about all he can get. And Yunbi making the most of the low cooldowns of the Orianna. Make sure he gets harassed out here. He might be getting paid a visit by the Bel'Veth, though, from the top side.
Oh, we don't want to get visited by the Bel'Veth from the top side. That is certainly not what we need. Quacker having trouble with that ranged melee matchup. Suds again low in the middle lane as Bel'Veth decides to back off. Yeah, this lane top side's rough on the Malphite, but as soon as he hits that level 6 mark, it gets a lot easier for him. He's able to hard engage. Oh, look at the dive.
They're taking a peek for it, but I don't think they're going to be able to put it together up against this
My man is
pseudo-tanky
under
Malphite.
turret.
You know, I won't call him tanky yet. He's sitting on a Doran's ring. He's sitting on Arcane Comet. He's really not that tanky at all, but it's enough that he can dissuade any attempts to go in for him there. And yeah, that's a little victory in and of itself. This team wants to play through Tony top, especially when they draft Ashe Braum in the bottom lane. And if you can deny any opportunities to get him ahead, that's its own little victory.
It is its own little victory, and we're seeing gold very even here through the laning phase, which is good to see. Nothing falling behind with the kind of reputation Tony Top has. Normally when teams are this much better, or this much more favored, the gold will start like shifting super early just off the CS numbers, but we're actually holding our own here. The laning is looking solid so far. And that is a good sign for the future here. We'll see if the hands hold up through the skirmishes mid-game. But for now, things are looking good. Dragon spawning just a little bit onto the rift. That's an ocean dragon, Gordo. An ocean dragon.
It is. And
I think they can
it's going to
swim.
be super valuable early in the game. I think it could swim. think for sure. What really is an ocean dragon if it doesn't end up swimming somewhere?
I don't
At the end
know.
of the day,
It's just
it
a
doesn't-
dragon by the ocean? I don't know.
Yeah, that's like a cliff dragon. That's not. That's a
beach
shore
dragon.
Beach dragon, shore dragon, something like that. It'd be misnamed if that's the case. I'll tell you that much.
He's got a beach
As-
ball breath weapon that like shoots beach balls. It'd be
I
great.
see a little jungle v jungle action here on the bottom side. I think they're sitting one wall apart from each other, and they might not fully realize it. The Belvet sneaks
Wait a
in.
second.
DMK is still walking away. He's wondering how the hell this happened, as Sophist Sage going to have to flash away from the knockup, but they do manage to land a
Big
root.
hooks!
DMK is here.
This is a
They'll
good
hook him
fight!
right back in. He's still got the
Nautilus
flash. He's holding
jungle!
on to it as long as he needs to. Going to be a trade of flashes between the junglers. The lockdown onto Snow.
Yeah!
The Dredge line back in, and the first blood pickup is one
Oh,
auto
please.
away.
Come
but he
on.
can't get
No!
quite close enough. Sophist Sage,
Come
so
on.
close to picking up that first blood, but just can't quite get it.
No, there's just no way, bro. Please. The Nautilus jungle, the success was right there, but he's not able to clinch it out. We do need more early action from this Nautilus jungle, I'll go ahead and say. He's just going to...
Great ulti.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's happening? Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Shockwave. Yeah, Shockwave came out there. And not able to kill Sudsy quite yet there. Yeah, DMK and Nautilus, you need to gank a little more because you're not going to be able to clear the Belveth, certainly, in the early game. So you want to make sure you're having more of an effect on these lanes. But he does take the reset with quite a bit more CS than I would have. So I'm starting to think maybe he's a better jungler than me. I don't know. It's possible.
Eventually. You know, way back when Nautilus was a jungler, we're talking like early 20 teens. At that time, Titan's Wrath plus Riptide, that was like, you know, that was the best clear in the business, baby. You could just be wiping your way through those really low HP, easy to clear camps. Not really the case anymore. Now the power farmers like Belveth, they're going to outpace you, especially once they get some stacks and some AD into them.
Yeah, this top side feels good, I bet. Yeah, you got blue buff in the top side clear. That's a nice clear. But anything with single target camps gets a little hairy for him.
Yeah, for sure. They used to all be AoE camps, X-Man. They used to, even the buffs, used to have little friends along with them. And that's just not how it is anymore. Well, that's a pseudo nerf to Nautilus jungle. Every time they take little pets away from our buffs, that's a nerf to Nautilus jungle.
100%. There's just going to be one chicken next patch.
Nope.
It's going to be awful.
To keep DMK down, and for no other reason.
We're back in it, baby. We were down 300 gold, but we're back in the running just like that. The CS numbers are good. Sophist Sage and Yama are controlling the bottom lane. Everything is looking A-OK. DMK topside playing around the Rift Herald. 8 minutes in, does not have level 6 yet. He wants the action.
True.
He wants the mid lane. Hex Slash, Hex Slash, Hex Slash.
Oh,
Big
the
hooks!
hook does
Yeah,
land.
baby!
Yunbi does have that shockwave. Here comes the Sky's Descent. Some good damage in there. They don't actually expend it. And that might actually be for their benefit. Wallflower was hanging
break him
around
out.
here. They now see that he was there. So just going to be a little bit of pressure onto Sudsy, but not much else exchanged either way. Could go for the regank here. He's still just hanging in that bush, and he knows he's not spotted.
Yeah, everything DMK is doing right now is perfect. He's breaking out his mid laner for the objective. As soon as they get enough of an angle, they're going to take everybody up into the top side jungle there, take the Rift Herald down uncontested, and use that objective to gain a further gold lead here. Look at the moves from Nars on reset, too. This is all coming through perfect. Just need them to execute on the Rift Herald.
Yeah, very nice. Love this out of CCG here. I think Tony Top's biggest strength, as I say that, is getting beaten on by Quacker there, has been the strength of their solo laners. They are very high caliber players, and if you can't stand up to them, you're going to end up losing to this team. CCG doing a great job of matching that challenge so far. As Wallflower's coming in onto Quacker, he might have
This
to
is
use
good
the
for
Unstoppable
Quack.
Force to get
He
away,
might
but
kill both of them.
he's actually crushing Wallflower here. And
That's
here comes
good
DMK.
bait.
He lands
That's
the
good bait.
impossible hook and gets the Unstoppable
Yeah.
Force. That's first blood going over to Quacker as they're going to move forward onto Tony Top. Yunbi is here for the backup. He's going to have the shockwave in just a second, and he pulls back in Snow too. But the Unbreakable is going to do its best to dissuade any further damage. They are going to have to back away off that one. Tony coming for the flank, going to find Yama as Quacker is getting the Breath of Light spewed onto him, but not going to be enough to force back this Malphite. He's got the red buff regen, he's got the Orianna ball, and they're going to look to start up this Rift Herald.
That's so sick, man. What a fantastic macro play from CCG, breaking open the side lanes, getting them into the objectives. And this will be uncontested. Rift Herald take for them. So much success already from the Nautilus jungle. I cannot believe what I'm seeing, Gordo. It's exactly what you want to do. You just support the lanes, secure objectives, stack them up, and build advantages through those objectives. Meanwhile, no dragon trade on the bot side from Tony Top. That's going to open up the dragon to CCG as well, as they could potentially play for that objective.
Always the best early games when you can manage to win both sides and get the objectives for both of them, and so far that is what CCG is doing. They get a nice little lead into their Malphite off that kill, and they've got the CS lead. First off is Sage and Yama on the bot lane. That is how you want to be playing this one, as Belveth now looking for a little something back. Wallflower and Snow arriving to the bottom lane. Sophist Sage going to throw out the Chains of Corruption, and that should be enough to stop them. He is going to have to flash, but he gets out.
That's good. He's still a cleanse up too, so lots of room for him there. Lots of nice wiggle room. Yeah, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is down. Looks like, yeah, Glacial Fissure's still up there too. Belveth's going to solo up this dragon. That's the one thing about Nautilus jungle, man. You can't really solo objectives. It's not super good for you there. But it's much needed time for DMK to get back some CS numbers he had lost previously. Wallflower has been power clearing. So that will be the dragon over to Wallflower. He gets form off of that as well, which is nice.
Looks like we got a little replay of that first blood if we want to check it out here, Gurf.
Yeah, check out the replay.
One on the screen.
Throw up the replay, man. Look at this. So Quacker, he's running away, sprinting it. 100%, I think Quacker can 1v2 here. He's got level 8. Wallflower's already super low, but he totally sells it. This hook connects, which is super good. Double knock-up on the ultimate. Just elites Wallflower there to catch Tony Top here as well. And go in for the Rift Herald play. Really nice first blood.
So, I just had a series of thoughts, Axeman. Thought number one, oh wait, actually, is that Glacial Fissure is coming through in the bottom lane and we're setting up for a potential 4-man dive. So I'm going to put those other thoughts in the tank here.
Big hooks.
DMK goes in with the dredge line. There's going to be a big shockwave landed onto Snow, and he's got nowhere left to go as the Riptide takes him down. As now with a big wave, they're going to take themselves all the turret plates they can handle, and CCG is going to build up their lead.
They certainly will. The Rift Herald on the bot lane turret will mean that first turret goes down, as well as the macro just continues to expand here for CCG. They're doing so incredibly well in game one. We love to see this gameplay from them. This is all down to coaching. I think Topo might be my favorite coach of all time now after this game. Holy cow. Can't say enough good things about it.
Love it, love it, love it. And I'm going to go back to my thoughts here, Axeman.
Yes, go back to the thoughts.
I was watching that perfect hook snag its way around the minions in top lane, and I was thinking to myself, man, DMK's been practicing this Nautilus, and then it hit me. DMK was playing support in the last OQ. He's got the Nautilus practice, man. He's been playing this champion while he was working on the support role. Now he's back in jungle, and he's taking this pick back over there.
Yeah, 100%. He's got the Nautilus hands now. And the Nautilus jungle gave them so much value as far as the draft was concerned. Gave them actually workable lanes into Tony Top and Sudsy. And that, I mean, that'll do it, right? That's everything CCG needs in this particular matchup between these two teams. It's just good solo lane matchups that they're not perma-losing. That seems to be how Tony Top wins these games, is just really good solo lane matchups and really strong solo laners, but CCG's taking that away from them.
Great job so far. Just a tiny little CS deficit up against Tony Top, but in the range versus melee matchup as the lowly Malphite, you're going to be pretty happy with that result. And then all this gold they've picked up from turret plates, from kills, going to net them about a 2k lead here, and they're going to look to keep pressuring that. They've rotated the bot lane up through mid. They're going to try to open up the map that way. So far, with the lead that they got on Sophist Sage, the Yomu's already completed. That is going to be very, very doable.
Oh yeah, super doable. Super doable. Lots of nice vision set up here by CCG. You can see across the top side jungle. Lots of good control vision through that portion of the map. And everything's still looking good. They're maintaining the gold lead. Looking strong, feeling strong. See some lane assignments coming through, a little different.
Time to start taking some Nautilus jungle notes here, Axeman. The even shroud completed here.
Oh yeah.
For DMK, I like that for the damage amp here. That's that's your version of of, you know, some of the more damage dealing. That's his version of a Kraken Slayer jungle item. This is how Nautilus outputs the most damage, as he grabs himself the Even Shroud and looks to set up for the rest of the team.
100% here. Really nice Even Shroud pickup for DMK. Nice lethality items for Self Sage. Good, 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 good. Everything going to plan for CCG so far. Get the row with 2 stacks on it for Sudsy. He's looking strong on the map soon here as well. And credit to Tony Top. I mean, they drafted a late game team comp, right, with the Bel'Veth, the Aurelion Sol, all this really nice scaling. So they're not exactly supposed to be strong pre-15. So this isn't like doom and gloom that they're behind at 15 minutes. But it feels like a rare chink in otherwise impenetrable armor, right, that they're down gold right now. And that is good news for CCG here. Dragon spawning in just 24 seconds. There's no member of Tony Top in the area. It's a possibility for CCG to control that objective. However, keep in mind, there's a Bel'Veth on the map. The major prize here is the Rift Herald, always, always, always. So CCG, they're around the top side of the map here, playing for that objective instead.
Yep, for sure, getting a lot done there, and are going to start working on this Rift Herald. But there's some members of Tony Top looking to try to make a little bit of a mess of things. Yunbi taking that recall will have the teleport to rejoin the fight if needed, but CCG, they've just switched their focus. They're moving right back towards pushing mid, and they are the first ones for that play. DMK,
what's this
Spider-Man's his way over.
What's that? Did you see a Yumbi teleport? He just teleported in the bot side jungle.
He's deep behind enemy lines. They're just switching their focus entirely. Screw the mid wave. They're coming in for Tony in the bot lane, and they're going to hit him up with a shockwave. There is nowhere for this Gnar to go. That's going to be a kill for Yunbi as they just focus right onto the dragon. They'll donate that topside Rift Herald all day long. Another objective for CCG.
Nah, you know what? This is based. This is sick, dude. I can't believe this. We gave up Rift Herald, so the Bel'Veth will have a lot of pushing power. They drop that Rift Herald immediately top lane, so the inhib is in jeopardy if they don't get up there soon, but they do take down the second dragon and pick... Wow, actually, they left the low with Nautilus, so it's going to take a minute, but eventually they'll get the dragon and rotate back up topside to potentially save some of their structures, but yeah, the Bel'Veth pushes hard, man. Oh, yeah, big ult here from Quacker. Come on, Quacker.
You know, it's looking a little less winning now. It's a little less based as the Void Remora managed to get themselves a whole bunch done on the bottom side. Big play there for the side of Tony Top, really knowing the benefits of that Bel'Veth pick there, using the enhanced form to just rip through those topside turrets. But you know what? They still end up even in turrets overall. There's still a gold lead for CCG. They've shut down Tony even further. They got a kill onto Yunbi. They hadn't had a kill on a carry yet. I'll still call it a winning play.
I like it. I like the call. Good call. Yama may be in danger as he sprints it through the jungle. He'll get out just fine. Tony really trying to control the bottom side now, excuse me. Trying to protect Tony a little bit more here. They left them a little open trying to play for that Rift Herald, but now they're moving in support.
Quacker, he popped the ultimate there. Didn't quite find himself a kill this time around, but still keeping the pressure on, continuing to threaten that engage could come from anywhere, anytime. He's built up a whole bunch of CDR as well. You can see he's working his way through that Frozen Heart component, as that's going to be a shockwave under the wall. Sudsy going to have to flash away and going to have to fly for his life as well, as now Tony is going to be the next target. That's a big Skies Descent landed from Tony to stop everything from moving forward, but Quacker is going to be able to pick up that kill on the Aurelion Sol, and now Wallflower looking for resets, but just doesn't have the damage as Yunbi takes him out. Now Gnar into the wall from Tony Top, but that's only onto the tanks. They can't get through onto Yama. That's a double kill for Yunbi. 3-0 on the Orianna. CCG, they wipe the fight.
They certainly did wipe the fight. I'm experiencing a lot of things in my brain right now, Gordo, and I don't really know how to process them, but we're actually winning fights in the Tony Top here. We're actually 6-0 in the Tony Top here. So I'm going to try to keep things even-keeled, just give you the facts, all right? Really good opener there. Nice shockwave to pull back Sudsy into the turret. That's a really nice opening move. You wish Quacker had all for the fight, right? But he turns out just fine there. Picks up a couple of kills for himself, and as does Yunbi. Really nice play from CCG, and yeah, honestly, I'm moments away from being speechless, Gordo.
And that's going to be rough for the broadcast, X-Man, so hold with
Yeah,
me
right.
if you can.
I'm trying my best, man.
I can't give speeches for both of us, but I do think we got a little bit of a replay of that last fight. I'm pretty confident Sophist Sage is going to be plenty safe. So we have some time to review how this broke out. A great shockwave to start everything off from Yunbi.
Yeah, nice shockwave here. Suzy tries to escape, but the ultimate, again from DMK, providing so much value, knocks out Tony Top briefly, prevents that re-engage. They get Suzy down with the burst damage from Quacker. So good. Wallflower going to fall down the back end of Quacker as well, because there's so much damage suddenly coming out of CCG, and you can hardly understand where it's coming from, right? This is supposed to be a low damage comp. He's building full damage Malphite, but the damage is coming regardless. It is awesome, man.
Yeah, and a lot of that's just because Yunbi is super accelerated, right? He's got a huge CS lead for himself. He's got now multiple kills. He only had one at the time, but a couple of assists too, and now he's got 2 more. He's going to be incredibly powerful here with the Archangels already completed. Just compare him to the A-Soul here. He is going to be nearly done with his third before he gets his second on the A-Soul, but now going to be a gank coming in. Wallflower flashing forward, Endless Banquet looking to finish him off, and will be able to get it. Shutdown picked up for Wallflower. First kill of the game for Tony Top.
Nice little shutdown there, Wallflower, with a nice hover down the bot side. You never want to play 1-3-1. It's always like a 1-2-2 type deal, right? And good movement there. Sudsy is on the wrong side of the map, matched up against Quacker. We like to see that rotation coming through from Tony Top, just to give themselves a little bit of an edge. 40 seconds on Dragon. That'll be the next big play. Yunbi will be up for that. I think he has ult up for that play as well. So the shockwave available. DMK's in the side lane. He has Yama for support. This is a big test of the Nautilus jungle damage.
Yeah, I mean, big hook back in. They've got the even shroud for the damage amp. This is where Yunbi wants to use the teleport. They're just bullying Tony Top in this game, and it's working for him. It looks like they'll be able to pick up this kill, but what about the Baron on the other side? It's already down below 2k HP. Sophist Sage gonna have to go for the miracle shot. He can't get it. It gets picked up by Wallflower, but here's Quacker to try to clean up the pieces. It's only these two. Can he get the kill onto Snow? Nah, it would definitely be death for Quacker there. So gonna be Baron traded for Tony Top's life.
And is that worth it? Oh, no.
Well, now definitely not. I mean, now that Quacker is getting melted down, that's gonna be a 1-for-1. Oh, but they get the dragon.
Yeah, we get a little dragon action coming through here. Suddenly looking not so good for CCG, but that's just a little shutdown damage going over. A little shutdown gold going over there to Tony Top. And they pick up the Baron. Big Baron power play. We'll see them take the gold lead shortly here as they push the waves in. Hopefully CCG don't lose too many structures, so they want to stay in the game. But yeah, bit of a misplay, right? You want to control the top side of the map when you're into the Bel'Veth, because she's so good at taking down those void objectives.
You do, and failed on that mission there that time around. I've given a couple of those over to Wallflower now, but not the be-all, end-all of the game. They still have a very strong Orianna. They still have great team fight setups, and you know that's going to be with you for the whole game. Gold lead or no gold lead, you can always land an unstoppable force shockwave combo and turn around the entire game. And I'm talking like they don't even have the gold lead anymore. You know, they still have themselves a solid 500 in the bank. They've got 2 dragons to 1. They still can definitely find themselves some good team fights here. Definitely do have to withstand the siege of this Baron, though.
They really do, and mid lane turret has stood resolute in the face of overwhelming odds, and it will continue to stand here for at least a little bit longer. Yama playing with fire with the positioning. He needs to be careful standing up that far over the wall. He will get Aurelion Sol ulted if he's not careful. Quacker walking in. DMK walking in. This could be the fight. Watch the hooks.
Yeah, you can see Quacker's bruiser instincts kicking in there. He just wants to run after Tony and smack him around a little bit, even though the damage isn't going to be quite as high as it could be. He's
Mega's
got himself.
Here for Gnar.
Yeah. And, you know, if Mega's going to be here, we want to not be in the big team fight scenarios. So I'll take that as a 1v1 for Quacker here, as they are going to look to siege on this mid lane. Are they going to try to take the fight? The hook in from DMK. He's found his way onto Levitated. Levitated just getting melted down. Flashes out at a sliver of HP, but will drop to Yama, as they do drop the mid lane turret for all their effort. But now here comes Quacker looking for the flank ultimate. He's got the flash. He's got the unstoppable force. They've got the dredge line onto Snow, and they've got a kill for Yunbi. 2-9 on the scoreboard as CCG. They do not want to let up here. They want to take even more while they're in this advantage state. They gave up that steadfast mid lane turret, and they want to get themselves more. Tony Top backing away, but they will be able to get themselves a mid-inner turret for their troubles. This is a big win for CCG.
Massive for CCG. It's rare that you maintain a gold lead through a Baron power play, but CCG absolutely will. Only losing one structure there in the mid lane. Arguably, essentially useless, that tower way out there. The outer turret mid lane falling at 25 minutes is pretty good in my book, Gordo. I would go ahead and say here. Teleport's going to come through.
That doesn't knock up onto anybody. That's not a great Aurelion Soul ult, but they're looking to keep on the pressure. I saw that little marker on the map, Sudsy. You were trying to fly into the enemy jungle. Does end up giving up on that pursuit, though, and that's an engaged foil.
Yeah, stealing some of those camps back. Gurf's talking to my ear. Gurf, what do you got? You got something, Gurf? It's a replay. Look at it. Look at the replay. I love this here. So DMK so good at identifying that Levitate had taken.
Oh my God!
Had taken the turret aggro. Had taken the turret aggro. So he hooks him up, just locks him in place, lets the turret kill him. They do lose the turret, but they push out. Eventually, get the hook down to Snow.
Yeah, and Dragonman Kim, king of the Lollipop Guild here, man. He lands those lollipop and skill shots every time. It gets thicker at the very edge of the skill shot with the dredge line. And he's now landed multiple crazy hooks off that. I mean, I cannot believe how he's landing these. Super impressive performance from a guy who, in theory, should not play that much Nautilus.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's not taking any damage either, which is really nice. The build is so cool from him. I'm going to talk about this with my kids, man. Holy cow. I'm gonna be 80 years old telling people how I cast Nautilus jungle with Gordo. Holy cow, this is incredible.
And then DMK landed another hook outside of the turret. It was just crazy. Go watch.
It doesn't make sense. How is he making it work? Come on. Dragging up in just a few seconds here. It's gonna be the third one for CCG as they try to take that one down. You don't want to give up the tempo on the top side of the map though, because you'll lose the Baron again. However, it didn't lose too much on the Baron play last go around, so hey, who knows?
Now, once again, Tony Top at risk of being in a 1 versus 4 here. DMK, he jumps over with the blast cone an inch away. An inch away he could have gone for that, but just nets himself a little hideout behind the wall there from Tony. He will be safe to continue farming out this bottom lane.
DMK sets up this third dragon for them here. There's no contest once again, so we'll just go down for free. This time, there's no Baron setup for Tony Top either, so they won't be able to trade it back. If we get Dragon Soul and CCG, that's going to be huge for the team. Only a 1K gold differential between these two teams, but, I mean, that's a hard stat advantage, right? We like hard stat advantages because we don't have to do as much math.
It's true, especially if you could just write it off as an advantage and not do the math on how much AD and AP everyone's getting. And I guarantee you that's what we're going to do, man. We're not out here.
100%.
We're not calculating these sorts of things on the fly. There's no
chance. You think I'm breaking out the spreadsheets for this? No, absolutely not. CCG just get the advantage. So it's a 1.5K.
They have 2 Infernal Drakes. They do more damage. That's the extent of what you're getting here.
They just do more damage. And if they get a third Infernal Dragon, then they'll do exponentially more damage.
No, you want the analysis. The analysis here is that, well, we were talking about this team comp originally as a low damage team comp. You know what does a great job of offsetting your low damage is getting dragons that give you more damage.
Dragons.
Then it's like
100%.
You're kind of more like a mid-damage comp at that point if you get an Infernal Soul in your pocket.
Oh, I love that framing. That's kind of a cruel framing. Someone could say, oh, CCG, they just win because they always get the right dragon type. Like the Olaf Cloud Soul we got the other day. That's funny, man. I want somebody to say that on Twitter. That would be funny. Holy cow.
CCG's best skill as a team is their ability to roll Dragon Souls.
The CCG's just lucky. Tony Top going to look for the angle on the Baron here. They set up the Vision, fighting over it now. See if they can get that one down. I don't know. They need that pushing power. I want to see Wallfire in the side lane with the Baron minions. I feel like that's going to be so strong for them. It's just that they have to push way up in the lane to be able to do that. And then things get a little hairy for them as far as the flank angles from Quacker go, right?
Yeah. Speaking of eking out more damage in what is otherwise a lower damage team comp, Quacker finishes up the Abyssal Mask here. That's going to amp up the magic damage from the likes of DMK and Yunbi. And, you know, between the Void Staff there and the Abyssal Mask, not Abyssal Staff anymore, reducing that magic resist even further, you know, you're going to be getting dangerously close to the negatives there if you're Levitator Sudzi, and that is when you start taking big damage from those magic sources.
100%. Things are very tense. You want to keep Yumbi scaling up in the side lane there. He's level 17. This is a much faster game than we thought it would be.
For sure. I mean, to be fair, it's 30 minutes. Time has been flying because we've been having a lot of fun.
I've been having so much fun.
But it is starting to really be scaling up here. It's starting to get into real late game scenarios. Almost everybody going to be on level 16 ults pretty soon. We don't talk about the supports, but Sophist Sage and Levitate, they're one level away from getting them respectively. Baron has already been taken once. The second one's on the board. And CCG are threatening this inner turret. Wow, the damage is pretty big from Yunbi and Sophist Sage. They're just going to melt it down.
Gonna melt that one right down. Nothing to trade back in the opposite side of the map for Tony Top. So they'll just have to take that one on the chin. And a lot less control over the top side of the map as well. But that wave shoving in makes the Baron player a lot easier for CCG. They're going to take a lot of the vision out of the top side of this map, take the reset, spend that gold on Yunbi, who's now level 18. Just one, call it 2 items away from full build.
1.5.
Yeah, 2. Well, I don't know about that, but something. Maybe 1.5.
Yeah, call it, it's the MB. He's got some components for Zonias. He definitely wants that Zonias. We'll be able to immune himself some falling skies and stuff like that when the time calls for it. And then he'll cap something off with a death cap or something, and we'll be there. Be a very powerful Orianna on top of what is already a very powerful Orianna. You know, he's got himself a crazy CS lead now. He's like 70 CS up on Sudzy's Asol.
He really is here. CCG move back in. Pop the Shirelias.
Wow, Yunbi fearlessly charging straight at the Belveth there. Knows that they could take the fight, but can't quite land the shockwave. But still, that is a full retreat from Tony Top here. But without any actual chunk damage or summoner spells blown, I don't think they can convert that into a Baron.
No, they certainly can't. They're going to keep several members off of the map, though. Just to keep the anxiety up here for Tony Top. They're feeling it now, going to try to push out these waves. Maneuver back into the front here. Oh no, they're rolling over the dragon, going to try and control that dragon pit. Hopefully CCG had the wherewithal to maneuver over to the Baron. Now we see the reset come through from Yunbi. Could potentially get his 4th item.
He's going to use it. He's coming right back in here.
Yep, there's that 4th
item done.
Shadow
Flame. Is going to be even more magic pen, even more effort trying to get these people down to very, very low magic resist values. They are going to be able to pick up the dragon there for the side of Tony Top, but they're going to get the ultimate onto Snow and look to melt him down, but that's a big Skies Descent and a big gnar into the walls. Quacker's melted down. They're kiting back and taking out Tony Top, and it's a 4 versus 4 now as the hook lands on Levitate, and Ash is melted down, and now Sudzy is the only damage source left alive. He's got to fly back over the wall. It's a 2-for-1 team fight in favor of CCG. They lose Quacker and they lose the dragon, but they might get rewarded with a Baron buff, Axeman.
I think they're healthy enough here, Gordo. I think they could play for it. DMK's pretty tanky. They got some nice damage here from Sophist Sage and Yumbi. Only Quacker goes down for CCG in that last fight, and they will play for this Baron. Who can steal it away from the Wallflower is up. Sudzy is up. He's going to try and get in here. Yama!
He's just getting melted by that Breath of Light there. He's going to have to flash out and is going to have to play very far away from the rest of the team. No heals available for this Karma unless you can get close enough for an Alt W, and I don't think you want to be getting that close, so they're going to have to call off the Baron here. Quacker going to be up in 5 seconds, does have the TP. Really amping up here, X-Man.
I just don't want to say anything. I feel like me saying anything, I'm gonna
jinx it. Oh, there's another ult on the Snow. They're gonna melt him down again. Sky's Descent comes through, or Falling Star rather, as that wasn't the big one. Not gonna really mean anything as Snow is now off the map. It's a 5-man squad. They're gonna set up for the Baron. They've got 2 control boards on it, and Tony Top, they've got no way in.
They're started up, Gordo. Here it comes. Taking it down. Wallflower's going to try and make his way in. Watch the Stingray.
Oh, Here comes big damage there from that singularity, but the hook nearly lands on a wallflower. They throw on out the depth charge. They do manage to smite down the Baron, but they've lost Yama for their troubles. Yunbi has to get over the wall. He's out of mana. He's going to leave DMK out to dry. Quacker as well. 3 members down here for CCG, but they do escape with the Baron. Yunbi gonna get found by Wallflower. Immediately just has to speed boost himself back out under the turret, but Wallflower not willing to give it up. Above and below, Knockup lands there onto the Orianna and takes out that Fed member, but Sophist Sage can trade back and go on a killing spree as he takes out Wallflower.
Holy cow. So it's 1 for 3, 1 for 4. Holy cow, just Sophist Sage with the buff still up there. He'll be able to defend the turret with the Baron empowered minions. Oh no! That's
Looking
close.
for a little engage angle there. They do not actually find their way onto Sophist Sage. Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. Sudsy flies back out. They will successfully take the turret. Oh, but Levitate has to flash away. The damage from Sophist Sage is just nuts with that Mura mana completed.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad there. If you're on the opposite side of that damage. Now all of a sudden, Sophist Sage is pretty close to full build here as well. Gold lead just 2K. This has been the closest game easily of the entire tournament. Very, very close margins for both sides. It's going to come down to a big fight over, I would say, the Dragon Soul here. Coming up in a minute 30, so they're still trying to get that final item on Yunbi. But he might just want to use the stopwatch before he completes the Zhonya's here. So he gets a little bit of the double stasis action.
Absolutely here.
Back to back like that. So we'll see if he goes for that. DMK has completed another tank item and is like weirdly good front line. That's something that's really shocked me about the Nautilus jungle performance here. Is he's really, really tanky.
Yeah. He's got a low cooldown shield. Does a lot to beef up that HP. He's also got the shield from his little Bulbasaur in the jungle. And yeah, he just sits there, he tanks out everything for a very long time. Turns out when you give gold to this champion, he's actually quite an effective tank. It's just, you know, we're so used to seeing Nautiluses on a pauper's salary. Now actually able to cash out here and get himself 3 tank items done in 37 minutes.
100% here. Holy cow. Waited with bated breath. The things that are happening on your screen right now, Gordo, are beyond my ken. I don't fully understand them. But it's very exciting.
Absolutely is. It's been like a
Sitting in the death bush
2K
now.
gold lead just maintained by CCG for the entire game.
Yeah.
Haven't really gotten themselves fully in control. I haven't really been able to totally take Tony Top out of the game. But they still have the lead and they still maintain it and they still have the team fight power with this composition. As long as they don't let Sudsy get the perfect team fight, they are going to be very well set up to close this out, and they want this Dragon Soul.
I really do want it. This will be the fight. The fight to end all fights.
Oh, that's a 2-man shockwave. That might be all it takes as the depth charge is coming on in. Here comes these guys to send big damage in there from Sudsy. Yama doing his best to rain it down from the side, but Sudsy goes on a rampage as he takes out DMK. That was the smite, so the Dragon is now off of the menu here. What about the follow-up fight, though? Snow, very low, but he's pretty much the only one. Can they get the damage onto the crucial targets? Wallflower picks up an Endless Banquet stack there. They're moving on to Tony Top. He's going to have to hop over the wall. And this 4-man squad of CCG, they're still very scary here, Axeman. Tony Top not willing to step forward. Snow nearly gets smited down by the Arcane Comet, but does block it with the Unbreakable.
Snow almost goes down. Reset coming through for
back.
Tony Top. He's going to teleport back.
And it's
another
going to be a
arrow
long
out.
way. You got to get out of here, Quacker. Above and below, Knockup lands on the softest stage. They're trying to focus the damage in a 4-man
Big
shockwave. There's the
shockwave!
unstoppable force. And it's a 1-for-1 trade as Quacker goes down. The resurrect back up from Tony Top as he's just getting it sniped down by another arrow. They do manage to secure the Dragon, but what about the follow-up fight? Is it a 3-man squad for CCG up against 4 from Tony Top? Sudsy stepping forward with the Breath of Light, takes a big chunk of damage from Orianna's ball, but now Levitate with the volleys going to keep them pressured back. They're all at such low HP, and Wallflower wants to devour them all. But here comes DMK to CC him and stop any potential engage. That's going to be the blast cone over the ball, and CCG will escape with their lives, but with no Dragon and without a real team fight win.
Holy cow, Gordo. I can't believe that just happened. That's pretty close there. Zonius should be coming through from Yumby. No, he's not going to buy it. So that is pretty intentional. I would go ahead and say he's just leaving that in the inventory. I think it gives you like a lower cooldown to just finish the Zonias after you've used the stopwatch. So
Yep. Yeah, I think you
that's
just
what we're
get it
going
back.
for there. Certainly, almost everyone should be at almost full build now. Here in the 40-minute game, all the big shooters anyway. They're up onto the Baron now. 35 seconds until that spawns. I think we have a much better chance at fighting this one than we did the last one. Got the big shockwave, got Quacker's ult up. Everything coming through for him. It's going to be good. It's going to be big, Gordo.
Wow, here's
the
the
fight.
engage. They're just stepping up. Depth charge onto Levitate. There's going to be the Chains of Corruption, and down he goes. But the Shockwave was used. Everything was used, and Tony Top is mega on top of everybody, but getting melted down by Sophist Sage. Yunbi is going to drop, but now the front to back. Wallflower has to find his way onto Sophist Sage, but he's kiting back onto everybody. The Endless Banquet, though, keeps getting him the resets, and now the only member left is Sophist Sage. Sudsy stays alive throughout the entire fight and just keeps raining down with the Breath of Light. Wallflower chasing him down as the front line. Guardian Angel going to be popped, and there's not going to be anybody left to save him when he gets back up. That's going to be an ace for Tony Top.
We always knew it was going to be about the scaling here, but the death timer is a little long. It might be the end of the game. They got to push through the inhib turret to get through there. Yunbi's up in 23 seconds, so they might be able to save it here, but you're going to be able to take that mid inhib and definitely the top inhib as well. As you see the wave crashing in there too, so dire straits for CCG.
5 seconds to go on DMK and Yunbi. They might be able to keep this game going, but this is a big swing for TikTok Tony Top. They take themselves 2 inhibitor turrets, 1 inhibitor, and now can just reset with so much more control over the map for these upcoming objectives. Dare I say, Axeman, they might have dedicated a little too much to Levitate there. The Shockwave, maybe a little bit of overkill from Yunbi, and it means they just have nothing for the follow-up team fight.
It's certainly all about killing Wallflower at this point of the game. Super late game. Also, Sudsy too, man. You talk about a late game champion. He is absolutely tearing it up right now on the Aurelion Soul. And yeah, a little bit too much on Levitate, I think, is exactly correct. I think if that was just an open field pick and they were able to pick him off, that would be good, but you're initiating a team fight. You have to pick the correct targets there.
See if they can make that adaptation here really, really fast. The Zonia is now completed for Yunbi. He is totally full build. The same is true for Sudsy. Same is true, as you said, for Sophist Sage and Belbeth. For Wallflower, here it comes. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to be evaded by Sophist Sage, and now they're looking for the counter engage. Teleport in from Quacker. DMK looking for a hook, gets it onto Snow. They can melt this guy down first, but now here comes a big Skies Descend. Tons of damage onto the front line, but the lockdown has landed on a Wallflower, and the Shockwave hits onto 3 for the side of CCG. Tony Top drops,
nice.
And Snow is going to be the next target. 2 members already down. CCG are winning this team fight. Double kill comes through for Sophist Sage as they can now move on to Baron with a 5-on-3 advantage.
Certainly can here, or they could push the end. And
just protecting the Siege minion. They've got Quacker. He's so tanky.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. This is it.
Gotta respect the damage, though, above and below from Wallflower. Gets the knockup, but they get it onto Sudsy. They found their angle onto the Aurelion Soul, and he is down. But it's at the cost of 2 kills. And Levitate and Wallflower, they got plenty of damage between the 2 of them. They've taken out Yunbi, as well as all the front line. And Yama and Sophist Sage have to find a way to kite this out. Cleanse from Sophist Sage to stay ahead of the slows. Dodges out on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but here comes Wallflower. He gets the knockup. He goes for the Endless Banquet, and that's the ace. Picked up for Tony Top. Wallflower and Levitate defend the base. 2 versus 4, and they might just secure Tony Top a win.
That champion is not super balanced at the 44-minute mark. I will go ahead and say, holy cow, this is incredible. But yeah, nods to CCG. I think that was their chance to end the game, and I certainly would have pulled the trigger there. It's just Wallflower under tower. It's so much damage, man. Holy cow. Look at this thing, man.
He's got a lot of attack speed there, Axeman. He's got no cap to hold him back.
Yeah.
No cap. Tony Top are going to win this game.
Yep. That's one of the closest games I've ever seen, man. I mean, you talk about end of the game down 3,000 gold. That's incredible. Yeah. Not really sure what else to say about that one. That really felt like the shot, and it did not come through, unfortunately. But we'll get them next time.
Yeah, neck and neck the whole way through there. Just a tiniest lead maintained by CCG for so long, but eventually the ASOL and the Belveth, they come online fully. CCG just couldn't quite close it out fast enough, but oh man, do we need to keep an eye on these mid laners' signature picks here. These guys are absolutely cracked on the ASOL and the Orianna.
Yeah, 100%. Really cool stuff to see. I don't know if we see the Nautilus jungle again in this series. It felt kind of like just a fringe thing, maybe something that they had prepped for a game one. So keep that in mind when we push forward in the series. But it's feeling pretty good so far.
All right, well, we're gonna throw it to a quick break here while we get ourselves into lobby for game number 2. We'll see you guys very shortly, though, as CCG, they are not out of this yet. And based on that game number 1, they have a solid shot here of taking Tony Top to 3 games. Welcome back, everybody, to the CCG broadcast here, the NACL Qualifiers bracket stage, where we are in here for our quarterfinals matchup between CCG and TikTok Tony Top, where a mad close game won, Axeman. I mean, it was so close to CCG taking the first game here, striking first and getting themselves an early lead. Didn't quite work out that way. Just one or two last team fights turning towards the way of TikTok Tony Top means that the favorites coming into the day are going to be up 1-0 at this moment.
100%. They're up 1-0. Just one more game. And CCG are with their backs against the wall here going in. They're in sudden death, and that's a tough place to be in. The reverse sweep is possible. Remember, if we go to game 3, you get another chance at the raffle. Show them the raffle bracket. Or not bracket. Graphic. Graphic is the word.
Raffle graphic.
Look at this graphic.
Raffle graphic.
Take them through the graphic, Gordo.
Yeah, well, one mystery skin giveaway per game. You can see that you need to type !raffle in chat. And then you have a chance to win yourself a mystery skin. If you're awarded one, you'll be friended by a representative from CCG. They will find out where to send this mystery skin, and you'll receive it before too long. So, pretty straightforward process. No reason not to enter, as you definitely have yourself a shot of getting yourself something random for all your troubles of watching the game here. You know, you get to have some fun. You get to get yourself a little bit of economic value in the form of a skin for League of Legends. Nothing to hate there.
No, nothing to hate whatsoever. Back to our faces now. I like the wipe. The wipe's good.
It's a good wipe.
Let's keep that in.
We see it again. Let's go back to the giveaway
graphic,
and then come back to us
show
again.
Show us one more time. Get that. Oh
Yeah,
the graphic wipe. Oh wow,
beautiful.
No, it's just good. It's just good. It's a good wipe. So game 1, we had the little Nautilus jungle action there. We got the Varus Karma, which is a really strong lane. First off is Sage and Yama. Really good performances across the board. Yanbi on Orianna, give it up, man. I mean, get the guy in the NACL, for God's sake. What's going on?
Yeah. They need some mids over there, too.
They do need some mids over there. They need him pretty badly. Quacker on the Malphite was really strong as well. This is an awesome comp from CCG. So much we hadn't seen. Obviously, the Nautilus jungle. So much we had seen, really showing that this team has big champion pools and is really adaptable as well. So looking forward to game 2 and the adaptations that they make.
Yeah, I think that ASOL ban, that might be one of those adaptations. Sunzi, he's been absolutely cracked on that pick. He's been so good at it throughout the group stage. Most teams have been either banning it against him or letting it through and losing. And CCG, unfortunately, leave themselves in that second camp here. Would like to see them at least try to take that one away and see if that can improve their odds there. Because it was down to the wire there, X-Man. And if it wasn't a hyper-scaled Aurelion Sol taking a team fight 40-plus minutes, I think that's a CCG win, and maybe Topo taking some similar notes there coming into this draft for game number 2.
Certainly could have been, for sure. And I'm expecting a lot more damage in the team comp here from CCG going to game 2. I think it's almost impossible to have less damage, right? So that's something that certainly we're looking for as well. And then everything seemed really solid from Tony Top. I think that bot lane is probably going to be a little bit different from them. I don't think the Ashe Braum did him any huge favors here. But, it's going to be a entirely different draft. Once again, like we mentioned last game, I don't think we're going to see the Nautilus jungle run back again either.
Unlikely, as we are getting into the draft for game number 2. Remember, it's all on the line here, everybody. Tony Top, they get themselves into that promotion tournament with a series win here. CCG, they lose any hopes of making it to the promotion tournament with a loss here. These teams are playing for their very lives in potentially getting into the NACL. So that's going to be a Sejuani ban away from CCG. The Lee Sin, the Olaf. We're running back the same draft so far, X-Man. We'll see what they want to take for CCG here, but I want that ASOL added to the list, man. And I'm going to be honest, if I was going to cut something, it probably would have been the Sejuani.
100%, yeah. Give him the Sejuani, right? Because Wallflower being on Bel'Veth is was not good. Not good for CCG. That was a very strong pickup there. Likely because it went so late game, I think, as well. I think was part of the power there too. My camera's dying super bad, and it's getting freeze frames in my face. So maybe we'll pick a couple of those and post the funnier ones. But Varus going to be banned away here as well, as Tony identifies. Off a stage, pretty good on the Varus. Just a little too good on the Varus for comfort here.
I got you. We could full screen my cam, and I'll try to like mimic what Axeman is saying, so it looks like I'm saying both. We'll see. That's the next plan. There's the ASOL ban, though. It came through, Axeman. It happened. As Varus is going to be banned away as well for Tony Top. So those are the adaptations. They're hovering the Ashe here now on the blue side, and that was a pretty good pick for them last game. It wasn't, it wasn't the be-all, end-all of anything. They did a pretty good job of shutting down Levitate for CCG, but still would not blame them for locking it in, and they do just that.
They certainly do here, and this is what I was hoping we would get is the Azrael Karma back-to-back pick. What I've been wanting for quite a while now. Not going to talk about Gwen. We're going to be original this time. I think the Braum pick certainly could come through for Snow 2 here as well. That's still up, like we mentioned previously. But yeah, it's got to be Azrael Karma every single time. And then honestly, give us the Orianna. We'll see what Tony picks here, but I'm thinking the Orianna once again for Yunbi on the third pick might be good for him.
Yeah, for sure. I almost wish we had taken Karma and Orianna here, and then we could, they're not going to take the Ezreal, and then we could guarantee that Sudsy isn't going to steal that one away, because that's my biggest fear, right? That's what's working its way into the back of my mind and bugging me, is that what if Sudsy locks the Orianna here, and then Yunbi can't have it? That's going to be a pretty sad situation for CCG. And it would be a very good pairing along with the Wukong, but instead they're going to take the Sivir, and this is actually going to be Ashe support for Mr. Snow 2.
Good stuff from there. Nice big range on that lane. Double range bot lane is going to mean a lot of extra damage for them as well. Of course, last game, you'll recall the reason they didn't go for the double range bot lane for Tony was that they thought it was Nautilus that was going to be in the bottom lane with Sophist Sage, and no, it was not. It was going to be the Varus Karma. So already we lost a lot of the draft control with the lack of the Nautilus pickup here, but J4 coming through for DMK, a nice little pick for him, and a lot of nice engage potential.
Yeah, that's an interesting priority there from DMK. Really surprised that we don't see the Orianna here, because now it's almost certainly going to be banned away. But they decide that their most important tool here is the Orianna. We officially lose Axeman's camera. It had kind of been on its last legs for a while there. Axeman, do we still have your audio at least?
You actually don't.
All right. He's telling me in the Discord that we don't. I see.
Maybe
your
we
camera.
do now.
Your camera's
Maybe we
there
do now.
on the Video Ninja. That means we probably have your audio too.
Yeah, you should have the audio
feed's
back.
a little less consistent, but we'll take it as long as we can see, as long as we can hear you. That's what's important.
My biggest thing, I just wish it would pick a freeze frame to stick on, so I don't have to keep trying to smile at the camera so it gets a good frame. We got the bans rolling out here as well. Kasanti ban into Quacker. Fiora and Gnar bans coming through. Jack's banned earlier there as well. So what Tony will pick is up in the air right now, but we'll have to blind pick that, I should think, as this got to be the Ori ban, right? Man,
that's what you would think, but no, they actually leave it up. They take away. Now I'm getting ahead of the draft a little bit there, but thank you very much, Gurf, for catching us up. I baited myself, but they are leaving it up. It's not going to be that Orianna ban, which maybe means it could be an Orianna pick. Would be very interested in seeing that one come through. They could also blind a top laner here for Quacker. They are hovering that Gragas. It gets locked in, so could be a mid lane Gragas, could be a top lane Gragas, but it is going to be a Gragas.
This is where we hit that J4 support Karma top angle. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. They're always looking for draft angles here, man. Always looking for something. But yeah, I think that Krog is probably for Quacker up in the top lane. And leaving the counter pick up to Yunbi, which is going to be interesting for them. And it's still, for me, it's still the Orianna, right? Every single time.
I would vibe with the Orianna here for sure. It's really good with the Jarvan. You get to lock people in a small room. You get to ult them all with your Shockwave in that situation. Levitate going to take the Vigar here, sticking with his identity as a scaling mid laner. That Kog'Maw is fake. Don't pay it any attention. And Tony Top's going to lock in the Scion.
He's going to lock in the Scion. Wait.
Go ahead and say it, Axeman.
Hold on.
Top lane you can
there is a Gwen angle here. But Yunbi would have to play the Gragas, and I think what they're talking about right now is like, hey, Yunbi, can you play the Gragas? And he's like, yes!
Yeah, let's go!
Yeah! Woo! I called it.
Oh, this
it
is your
freeze
best
framed on me
freeze frame yet,
cheering
Max,
too.
man,
This
by
is a
the
good
way.
one. This is a good one. Yeah.
No,
Awesome, man. Love to see it. Love to see it. Oh, Cameron's doing great. All right, camera upgrades. I'll put that on the list. But yeah, we got the Gwen pickup coming through. That's a really big counter pick coming through for them. Unfortunately, it does mean Yunbi's on Gragas, and I don't know if that's necessarily unfortunate. We just haven't seen a lot of Yunbi Gragas, so we're not really sure if that's a pick that he can certainly play. And of course, we do lose the Oriana as well with this draft. But once again, CCG with another spicy one, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the vibes.
I am too. And this is the real power of Gragas as a selection in this current meta, right? Is that it's a 3-way flex. You can play it in jungle, you can play it in top, you can play it in mid. You can even play it in support in some weird scenarios, but nobody really does that these days. But that's really the power of it, right? Is that when you end up here on R4, you can blind yourself a Gragas. You can say, all right, you pick both solo laners, and I'm going to pick one for the Gragas to go against. And here, they see an angle for the Gwen, for Quacker, and Quacker says, you give me that right now, man. Yunbi, you take the Gragas. We can just scale up against the Vigar. It's fine. And that's a great situation to be in here. And a really, if we get a great Quacker game here on the Gwen, and he carries everybody, it's because of that Gragas pick.
100%. And on the back of that, I think that's more than worth it for me. We're going to cut to a little bit of a break here as I try to fix my camera for next time. Sorry, everybody. Don't know what happened with that, but we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's broadcast of CCG versus TikTok Tony Top, the quadruple T in the NACLQ playoffs here, where the winner is everything to play for. TikTok Tony Top, they've got themselves a guaranteed spot in the NACL promotion tournament. CCG, they need a win to keep their hopes of making that promotion tournament alive. Everything to play for here, Axeman, and quite a lot was played for in that game number 1. It was super tight, hoping to get a similar one here in game number 2, maybe even with a CCG win, so we can go to game number 3.
Boy, wouldn't that ever be nice? Because you can get the giveaways, right? The raffle. It's all about the raffle in game 3. If we can get this W, I'm going to go ahead and enable sound here so I can hear what's going on. And we're in. Good stuff. Nice little slow start, a little 5-point coming through. Scion setting up a little death trap up on the top side. Tony Top trying to catch Quacker out. This is actually a winnable matchup for the Scion. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but Tony Top absolutely is an incredible player. So we'll see if he's able to flip this matchup on its head or if Quacker will shine through. My money's on Quacker.
Although,
I don't know where you stand, Gordo.
A rough position for Quacker here is he is in the bush. They don't know for... Oh, they seem to know he's in the bush. Oh, and he uses skip and slash, not over the wall. He doesn't have any blink or anything. He's just going to have to walk out right past the Scion, but he can, and he does. So, getting me a little nervous for nothing there, Quacker, although he is going to take another little decimating smash there. That's going to be a fair bit of damage.
How did Tony know? How did he know? Incredible.
Sometimes, dude, these challenger players, man, especially these ones with academy experience like Tony Top, they got a sixth sense about these kind of things, and Tony Top showing it off right there. It's some nice early damage onto Quacker, and you know, little early leads like that can really offset the counter matchup.
100% here. The double range matchup. So much damage coming out of both sides already, but most of it going on to Yama.
Ooh, level 2 hit for Sophist Sage and Yama first. Get themselves some nice trades there onto Snow's Ash. Going to be getting the wave crashed in here. That's what you want.
Oh, we like the damage. The damage is good. Hawkshot getting a little tracking onto DMK here. Revealing him briefly. They will know where the J4 is headed. Wallflower on Wukong, deeply concerning for CCG. It's a very strong champion. Really good at skirmishing pre-6. Those fights. Really fun stuff.
Quacker swinging those scissors everywhere up in the top lane. Definitely trying his best to clear out these waves. He's not quite at the point where he can melt his way through the Scion. The Scion actually kind of has pretty high base damages. You know, he's kind of got an Ornn kind of deal going on, where sometimes you do see that Scion just wins the lane at level 1 because he lands a little decimating smash. He detonates the blood furnace there, or soul furnace, I think is what it's called. And
sounds right
really
to
ends
me.
up with a pretty good trade that way. Quacker though, he's doing all right. He pops his potions. He stays at high health.
He's doing awesome. Look at him. Just look at him. Really good lane so far. Going a bit the same way as game 1 did. CCG slightly ahead, picking up the C. Oh, there we go. It's DMK. Please show us the bottom lane.
Considering a dive.
I wish to see the bottom lane.
Switch us over here manually. DMK going on in for a play here. Is going to get blinked away from there. Snow has to use the flash. Doesn't look like there's much else to be gained. They are going to move away here. DMK will escape. Now Quacker and Wallflower, or Tony Top and Wallflower rather, making a play up here towards Quacker. He's just going to skip and slash his way out of there. Does have the Ghost to escape in time.
Good stuff. Like to see that. For sure. They're going to take a plating off of the turret down bot side here. Really good use of the J4, providing a little bit of pressure, and they get that get an advantage down bot side. Quacker still up top side with the scissors, trying to cut through Tony Top. That's a thick Scion, though.
And he's only going to get thicker. As he last hits a few more minions, he's just going to become quite the beefy boy, and he will be the primary frontliner here for this Tony Top roster. And, you know, Tony, he's a guy that we really associate with the carry picks, you know, similar to Quacker. He's been pick banning the Jax the whole way through, drawing Jax bans, getting Jax picks, played some Fiora, played some Jace. But he has a mean Scion. He's only gotten to play it once so far, but it's been very, very good in that game. And now Quagger with a great angle here, uses the mist, immunes the decimating smash, and gets a good trade out of it.
Nicely done, to be sure. The Vigar's a little concerning from Sudsy here, too, as that champion will be doing a lot of damage. If this game does go to 44 minutes like the last game did, Sudsy's going to be huge, but... Ooh, Yumby's in.
Yeah, does have DMK there, so that's going to be the flash out of Sudsy. Nicely played there by Yunbi. He recognizes when he gets caught in the event horizon that, hey, it's time to go aggressive, baby. And so far, that has netted him some nice trades up against Sudsy here, as DMK is going to try to make sure this wave crashes in. I don't know that he can do it, though.
I don't know if he can do it
Quacker,
either.
though, little all-in angle, throws on out the needlework, gets the flash out of Tony. That's a winning Gwen matchup, if I do say so myself, X-Man. That's what you wanted the pick for.
100%. Need to see him get the CC number, or the CS numbers, excuse me, up here, and try and play for the solo kills. Takes the reset, should be able to teleport back in and stay just even in that lane. Yeah, it does force that flash out. DMK has the opportunity to roam up the top side now and potentially look for that gank, the flashless Scion. But Tony still does have the ultimate up, so fairly safe.
Another immune. Just really appreciate Quacker every time we pan the camera up the top lane. He's really demonstrating why you take the Gwen in this matchup, because a lot of Scion laning, you know, he's so slow, he's so telegraphed. A lot of it is just casting Q while they're in the middle, charging it up, and hoping they can't get out in time. And Gwen just has the tools to evade it every single time. There he is again. Thank you very much, Quacker. Just avoids the damage, gets some trade back, and soon enough we'll have the sustain. It does it again.
Yeah, good stuff from there. Take down that first dragon for CCG. Dragon stacking already in the works for them there. Don't have to pay as much attention to the top side of the map now that the Belveth is gone. You don't have to worry about the Rift Heralds as much. They really frees up CCG for where they want to play around the map.
Absolutely here. No surprise outer into inner turret takes off all the Void Remoras this time. CCG going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief there. They do definitely want to get their way out of the Rift Heralds if they can. So hope that they're going to be able to get a lane advantage there and find some way to compete for those Heralds. Do like the early gold for sure. They can get it out of somebody like Gwen and should have a solid lane matchup for it. Now, instead it's going to be the bot lane. Yama and Sophist Sage have got a great push in here. They're getting their second plates of the game, and it's going to be another tiny little gold lead netted for CCG. They're doing great in these laning phases.
Doing really, really well. Staying consistent. Playing nice, even games. Quacker with nice big trades on the Tony top here as well.
Yumby stepping up, looking for the barrel. Doesn't get the knockback, but does get himself a fair little bit of damage. Continues to look to just keep the pressure on this Vigar. He knows that he doesn't have the damage to really mess with Gragas quite yet. And Sophist Sage also looking to keep up the pressure here. Yunbi going to have to back away now as he's got two members on top of him. DMK is going to be there, though. Knocks back into Wallflower, throws down the explosive cast, tanks all the damage, and flashes out in time. Now Wallflower at risk from DMK, and he dunks him down with the Cataclysm. First blood goes over to CCG as Quacker now finds himself an isolated 1v1 with Tony top. He's got the true damage there from the snip. It's going to force this Scion to hide back out under his turret. A big win for CCG all across the map.
Yeah, beautiful from them here. Really nice bait from Yunbi as well, holding onto the flash till the last possible second. And he stayed out in the lane with no mana. And he forces that wave back under. He's going to take the reset. It's nice and safe. Really good stuff. Yeah, DMK picks up that first blood. You like to see that for sure. He gets the Rift Herald at some point there as well. I believe he took that with Quacker briefly before the Yunbi engage in the mid lane. So they get both the first Dragon and the first Rift Herald, which is a really good sign for CCG.
Absolutely. Beautiful play there by Yunbi to bait that in. You know, he goes aggressive back against Wallflower, gets some damage back, saves the flash until the last moment, tanks up the Primordial Burst while drinking, and it makes sure that that is going to end up giving him that little bit of extra tankiness that it takes to stay alive in that Drunken Rage. Now, set up very well in the mid lane, gets himself a little bit of additional gold off that first blood assist. And that's going to offset any meager CS advantage that Sudsy's built up for the range versus melee matchup.
Certainly will here. Gumby's farming really effectively into this range matchup. I think a lot of it is just the lack of tracking on DMK and some of the fear there from Sudsy as well. There's a lot of dive potential on the side of CCG, so he wants to stay back as far as he can.
Sure here. And meanwhile, just no relief from Wallflower towards this bottom lane. You know, he poked his head in a little bit once, but other than that, they have just been leaving Levitate and Snow out to dry here, and they're just going to have to back away. They're going to lose first turret, basically in the pure 2-on-2, because of the threat of a dive from Yunbi and DMK. This is a huge early gold advantage for Sophist Sage. I mean, he's already on his Mythic, and he's going to get another boatload of gold off the first turret here.
Yep, that's the first turret. He gets every single plate off of it. Gerfa, monumental lead for him there.
Explosive cast thrown out towards Sudsy. Knocks him into the wall, but not going to lead into a pick. But wow, that's like 2 kills worth of gold that Sophist Sage gets off that solo first turret gold.
Yeah, really, and they get more plating off the middle lane as well here too, which is really nice to see from them. Winning lanes in the top lane, everything looking good for CCG. They're up 3,000 gold, which is the largest gold lead so far in this series. Even at the end of last game, it was only close to 3K. So really well done so far. Next dragon up in just a few seconds.
For sure. Oh, in your professional opinion, Axeman, how can Wallflower try to fight his way back into this, right? I mean, it feels like DMK just had his number throughout this game. He hasn't been able to get anything done on the Wukong. He's had the ultimate for 2 whole levels now and hasn't really gotten a good opportunity to cast it on anybody. What can he do to get Tony Top back into this game a little bit?
It's a tough ask, right? Because you want Vigar in the lane, scaling up as much as possible. Breaking him out to try and rotate over for a skirmish isn't necessarily the most profitable option for you. You have to play around bot lane, and it's just unfortunate you have a super losing lane there. Sophist Sage and Yama have been just shoving the waves into Levitate and Snow over and over again, back to back to back. They just haven't had level 6 on the Ashe either, so not any real big lockdown tools for the bottom lane. So it's just no way to get down there and break open those players to help you out with the dragons. And he's just had to perma clear over and over and try to continue farming up here. This will be CCG picking up their second dragon.
Yeah, big start for CCG here. Bigger, I would argue, than in game number 1. I mean, the gold lead's looking pretty similar, but where they've allocated it is just so good with this massive lead for Sophist Sage. The 2-0 in Dragons, great as well. And the engage onto Sudsy, looking pretty good as well. Flash away from the Vigar, going to keep him safe, but it's keeping the pressure on his Yunbi in the squad. Another one. Big boatload of gold. Yeah, let's take a look at exactly how much gold he's got. He's got 1,500 gold individually on Levitate here at 13 minutes. It's a lot of gold, Axeman.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, leave the Lee up and just ban the Karma, man. Ezreal Karma is so strong for this team. It's just so good.
Oh, there's another play onto Sudsy. They know he used the flash earlier on. He's going to buy some space with the event horizon, though, and DMK's going to actually be forced to flash out. Sudsy, very safe on this Vigar, just stands and fights, and they can't quite get the damage in there quite yet. Gragas can't even get involved because he's stuck outside of the beta cage. It will be DMK humbled a little bit by the play up against Sudsy, but will escape.
Yeah, if Aurelion Sol isn't the strongest champion in the game right now, it's definitely Vigar. He's so big, man. Just unkillable. The range increase, recent buff on the cage there as well, makes him so much more reliable and so much more safe in lane there too. And of course, just massive damage in the back end of these games. When games are going to 44, 48 minutes, you want Vigar on your team if you can't get Aurelion Sol.
And CCG, they don't want the game to go that long. They've got themselves a big lead early here. They've got themselves 2 dragons. They've unfortunately rolled Cloud Soul, so they've dodged any allegations of being particularly lucky with the Drakes. But have to see if they are going to be able to just keep on snowballing the lead they've built for themselves. A great part of that would be getting another Rift Herald. It has been started up by Wallflower. Let's see what their response looks like.
They're gonna try and move in here. They fight through vision.
Oh,
Oh, this is quadra kill territory for Quacker.
Definitely is. It's a 5-man squad. They're finally calling over Sudsy in time. It's a full 5-on-5 over this Rift Herald. DMK goes in, gets dodged away from Wallflower. Event Horizon going to break up the team. DMK now is the first target, but Quacker's raining through the damage, but it's just so big from Wallflower, who's going to finish off that kill. And now Sophist Sage, he's blinked a little too close. He's going to have to flash away as Tony Top is chasing him down, but the knockup is going to land, and Sudsy is going to take out the Fed Ezreal. It's a 2-for-1 so far for Tony. Actually, a 2-for-0. They haven't even managed to take anybody out. Make it 3 as they burst out onto Yama. Another kill goes over to Sudsy, and Yunbi is just going to have to head for the hills as well. Quacker's already used all of his tools. Can Yunbi get out of here in time? He throws down the explosive cast for a little bit of extra space, but the Event Horizon lands, and there is nowhere for Gragas to go. Tony Top take a 4-for-0 team fight from a deficit.
Quacker tries to force Wallflower off of the objective here, but he will be able to complete it. Should be able to anyway. Yeah, he'll be just fine taking that one down. And not the result you want if you're CCG, but really big fight from Tony.
Dragon,
wow.
There's going to be the Cataclysm on top of Levitate. Quacker's going to be able to cash out as a result, but he will get melted down by Wallflower eventually. Now DMK trying to fight it out. Yama going to be there shortly. A dodge on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow will keep DMK safe. But it is just a 1-for-1 when all is said and done. You like having a little bit of extra gold on that Gwen, but that's about all you got for it.
Yeah, just a little bonus gold in the 1-for-1, the back end of that fight. That's a tough one to be sure. Holy cow. Yeah, man, the Wukong is really strong in this series. You know, he saw it banned down in game 1. And it came through here for him. It's looking really big. The Divine Sunder is super strong on the Rift right now. And Sudsy as well, man. Gets the triple kill off of that back fight. With the Roa coming through. And he's just going to continue getting stronger here as the game progresses.
For the scaling power, both these mid laners going to be present in that Rod of Ages, but you can immediately see the difference in the one-on-one just by the number next to it. Sudsy got his Rod of Ages a couple minutes earlier. That means he's going to have it fully stacked a couple of minutes earlier. And that's going to be a big power point to play around on the Vigar. Still pretty much dead even in gold. Tony Top, a big win in that Rift Herald fight, but it doesn't really net them a lead. It just erases the lead that CCG had built up for themselves. We'll see if CCG can do anything to pull it back in their favor here as Yunbi is getting engaged on. Going to have to flash away from the Cyclone. Wallflower continues to chase, but he's just going to have to back away once he sees DMK.
Gold's still largely even across Summoner's Rift, right? Definitely a close game still, to be sure. That third Dragon's on the Rift right now. I like what you said about, hey, maybe, you know, this isn't the best Dragon for them. This is still the Karma Bruiser combination that works really well with the Olaf, with the Gwen here, too. So it still could be really strong for them if they're able to continue Dragon stacking. I don't know if Tony is going to allow them to, unfortunately. This might be a close Dragon fight here.
Ooh, Snow getting some slows there onto Quacker. He's going to have to dash away. He's getting zoned out of this fight, but there's actually a full 4-man squad on the Dragon, and they're just going to claim it. It's like Tony Top hoping for an engage there onto the Gwen, can't find it, and now Soul Point is achieved for CCG.
It really is. Nicely done from CCG there. Just one Dragon away from that Dragon Soul.
Tony Top pops the ultimate, can't land it, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow does. DMK gets a big Cataclysm onto 2 crucial targets. They're going to land everything they can, and Quacker dives into the backline, gets onto Snow, but it's going to be at the cost of his own life as Sudsy knocks him down with the Primordial Burst. Here comes Tony Top now, still so powerful on this front line. They can't quite work their way through him yet, and that means that's probably going to be all she wrote for that fight. It's a 1-for-1. DMK thought he had a great angle there, but Levitate, clever use of the spell shield, keeps himself safe.
Yeah, nice spell shield for sure there. Wallflower.
Oh, DMK goes for the 50-50, can't land it on a Wallflower, but Yunbi is here for the other 50%, and now Wallflower is stuck pretty far up. He's trying to trade back onto Yunbi, but the Happy Hour will keep him healthy, and the shutdown is achieved for Sophist Sage, getting more gold back into this Ezreal. Taking him out is the best recipe for success for CCG, or for Tony Top, rather.
Ooh.
And CCG have managed to keep him safe so far, as now Quacker sees a chance to go on to Tony Top. He's popped the Ghost. The teleport is coming in from Sudsy, and Quacker's going to try to outplay him in the 1 versus 2. He will not be dissuaded. He wants the kill onto this Scion, and he will chase him to the ends of the earth to get it. but it looks like the ends of the earth are here. But Sophist
That's
Sage!
sick.
He lands the true shot barrage across the map, and you thought this was a Quacker play, but this is just even more effort to get Sophist Sage ahead.
Oh yeah, Gordo, those true shot barrages hit hard too, right? 2 items off his stage, Ezreal. That's a big Ezreal here too. He's gonna take the reset and just a little. No, they're onto the Baron here, Gordo. They're gonna start this up. The Hawkshot finds it out though.
It's going to take him a little bit. Ezreal, not the fastest Baron, but the Gwen will help speed them along for sure. Tony Top going to be up at 8 seconds. He does have the teleport. Below 3k HP now on the Baron. Will they be able to smite it in time? They do get it for themselves. They interrupt Wallflower with Yunbi's knockback, but now it's Wallflower looking for the knockups, looking to take the team fight, knowing that Sion can TP in. Tony Top is channeling it. Yunbi is already down in CCG. They just have to get out, and they have managed to do so. 3 members staying close together. Quacker on the other side. Nobody from Tony Top anywhere near distance. They are going to be able to escape here. 4 Baron buffs achieved for CCG.
Good stuff from them, right? I mean, this is probably the best play we've seen so far in the series from CCG. They look incredibly strong, up 2k gold now, but all that gold, right? Stacked on the Sophist Sage. Take a look at the gold toggle right now. Ezreal's up probably 3k. It's awesome. Really good stuff from him.
Absolutely is here. 2 minutes to go on that potential Dragon Soul. As you said, it's not the best soul in the world, but they'll definitely find some uses for it, especially on the likes of the Gwen. I would argue one of the worst users is the Jarvan, because he ults and locks himself in a very small space where movement speed matters very little. Other than that, the rest can use it pretty effectively. I'll always say yes to a nice little bit of movement speed on somebody like an Ezreal or a Karma.
Ezreal with some movement speed, super deadly. Just lets him move around. It's in combat movement speed too, right? So
Oh yeah.
gets really powerful for him. Yama finds like 6 wards. Oh man, it's like a
And
gold
I don't even know
mine.
what to do with all of these. I guess I'll kill a couple of them. Yeah, there we go. That's 2 more gold. That might be an important threshold someday.
Could be. And they'll rotate back over. Yama playing the vision game super effectively. Look at the vision. Ooh, close. But no
Scoots out of
cigar. And he gets the turret down. That's our Yunbi. We haven't really talked about the Yunbi Gragas. It's been okay, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely holding its own.
I liked how he played the laning phase up against Sudsy. I think he was really willing to play aggressively into the Vigar instead of just, say, hey, I'm a melee sustain champion. I'm Gragas. I'm the great equalizer. I'm just going to sit here and go even. He tried to play it a little more aggressively than that. Really only netted the 1 kill for DMK, but yeah, it's better than nothing, and was really able to open himself up for this big lead for Sophist Sage and Yama.
Really is here. Where do we go from here, Gordo?
Well, we go towards the dragon.
Directly into the
There's
fight.
going to be the unstoppable onslaught thrown out here. The flash needs to be used by Yama, but he just can't get out in time. Snow 2 going to pick up that kill, but Quacker is behind enemy lines along with the MK, and the teleport in from Yunbi. They want to take this fight anyway. Flag and Drag only gets the knock-up onto 1, and they're focusing in onto Sudsy, but he's stuck against his own wall and is going to get taken out. But now Quacker diving in, trying to finish off this Vigar. 1 more auto will do it. He's just a little too fast. 1 more skip and slash will take him out, and now he has to get Levitate too, but will be melted down in time. Sophist Sage, though, very strong on this Ezreal. Takes out Snow and is going to try to move on to Levitate. A nice play from Yunbi to finish him off. And Sophist Sage, if he can get away from Wallflower, if he can avoid Tony Top, he can carry this fight. Flashes for a little bit of extra distance, but Wallflower's going to be coming over this wall before too long, and it's just going to have to be an escape act here from Sophist Sage. If he can get the recall off in time, Tony is going to find him, though. Wallflower is on the hunt. The arcane shot doesn't land, and the shutdown is picked up, and Sophist Sage goes back to the fountain.
Unfortunate result there for him. CCG with plenty of kills of their own on that particular fight. Yunbi not going to find the kill. We'll have to back up here. Yama's back on the map.
Yeah, teleport in, channeled by Quacker.
There's
They are not willing
Quacker.
to give this up. They want this soul, baby. They are going to get it at all costs, and it looks like DMK is ready and raiding. I cannot talk there. Wallflower looking for a potential steal. Good damage on a Tony Top already. 6k HP on the Dragon. Will Wallflower be able to get in time to steal? They're actually just melting their way through Tony. He's not tanky enough yet on the Scion. and will be at about 1/4 HP for the upcoming fight, but the Needlework's already been used. And DMK, he's left alone in the pit. He's got a flag and drag out, and now nobody's there to smite it. Wallflower is taking him in for the one-on-one, back over with the Cataclysm, but now there's no smite available, and this is going to be a dragon picked up for the side of Tony Top, but they've managed to get their way onto Levitate and take out the Sivir. If they can take a follow-up fight, they might be able to get themselves a little bit more, but there's nobody to do the engaging when DMK has already dropped. It's going to be a 1-for-1 and a dragon for the side of TikTok Tony Top.
It does delay Dragon Soul another 5 minutes here for CCG. Not until 30 minutes will they get that objective or have access to it. Now it's back to the waiting game again. 1 minute up till Baron. Both sides trying to scale up a little bit. In that particular fight, it's all about getting into Sudsy for DMK, right? But there's no follow-up damage. The Sudsy's just way too far back. They end up chasing him all across the rift. This is the strength of the Vygar, man. It's almost like kind of tanky a little bit with the Roa, and you're going to have to really track him down and be able to get the damage onto him. And in the meantime, the rest of his team is just free hitting you the whole time. So Quacker having a difficult time with the multi-kills he normally is able to get, and Selfish Sage having a hard time keeping up, even with the Arcane Shift, even with the Flash in these fights.
For sure. Gonna have to be, just a little bit more tank killing for Sophist Sage, and now that he has that Cyrilda's Grudge done, might have a little bit more in the tank to be able to do that, work through that big old health bar that Tony Top has built up for himself, and all the armor that the Sunfire Cape is going to be bestowing onto him. But yeah, for sure, DMK gets sectioned off in that last fight. Without him, they don't really have a good front line for the Ezreal, and he needs a lot of front line. He needs a lot of time to smack away at somebody like Tony Top to actually be able to work his way through his health bar, and so does Quacker.
So does Quacker. Gumby with a nice little 2-level lead over Tony Top. That could be the fight up top side. Not sure. They're setting up for Baron up there.
For sure, a little something breaking out there. And it's actually Levitate working on red buff right now. CCG doesn't know, so they're not willing to start up the Baron, but they did have a numbers advantage up there for a little while.
It certainly did. Entirely not enough Baron coin flips in these tournaments. Just start up, you know what I'm saying? Teleport's available for Yumby, could join the fight back up here. And Quacker will take the reset, get back onto the Rift with 2 needlessly large rods. Maybe that's enough damage to start things up for him.
Ooh. Enchanted Crystal Arrow fired out, doesn't land on the Sophist Sage. So now they're going to look to move on to this Baron. And I'm with you, X-Man. I want some violence here. I can't handle this kind of slow pace here, not with this much on the line. I need these guys fighting constantly, and I need a clear idea of who is winning, and I don't have that right now. And I've been dealing with this for far too long.
I would tend to agree with you there, Gordo. Let's see what they're able to start up here. Yeah, you got to just sweep out the vision and start it, I think. I don't think you're getting much stronger than you are right now. Once again, Tony just hard out scales, right? Am I crazy on that front? Kind of feels like they do with the Vygar anyway. Yeah, they're going to start it up here. Look at the sustain damage coming out of Quacker.
Yeah, is going to be working their way through a 2-man Baron attempt here. We'll see if they get spotted. Hawkshot's going to do a lot to stop it, though, and they are going to have to peel off as Wallflower's looking for the engage onto the Yama. Flash away from the Karma, but Yunbi now is going to be the next target. Loses a fair bit of HP, but drinks to get a little bit of HP back. Quacker dashes over the wall. It's the whole squad of CCG forced back as Tony Top figures out what they're up to, and they are not willing to take a 5 versus 5 in that position. They want Quacker flanking. They want DMK on the back line, and when neither of those criteria are met, they just have to back away from Wallflower's Wukong.
They really do, unfortunately, and that's a tough break for them. For sure here. Quacker getting pretty close to that death cap spike, which he will use to be able to get a leg up on the competition here. But Dragon's coming back up, and that is something CCG would like to fight over, if indeed they can.
They're the first ones to the pit.
Yeah.
I like it. They can set up some vision. They can clear out some opposing vision. 30 seconds to go on what could be the potential soul for them, and like you said, they want to accelerate this game. That's a great way to do it. Get the Elder on the table sooner rather than later. Get themselves that little bit of extra movement speed, but it might be TikTok Tony Top starting up the Baron.
Yeah, they're going to try and start it up here. They're fine trading Cloud Soul over, but Gonna back off of it now. Both sides playing really slow around these big objectives. I think it's another 40-minute plus game. It really makes you wonder why both teams don't draft those later game champions.
Wallflower a little caught out here while Yunbi was getting caught on the other side. Now they're back onto Yunbi. He has to go into the stasis. Wallflower on the other side. He's managed to escape, and Quacker's going to get bursted out by Sudsy. A disaster for CCG as they have lost one of their primary carries, and Yunbi is getting melted down as well. The magic damage dealers are gone. It's a 5 versus 3 on the map, and TikTok Tony Top, they have got full control of the Dragon, the Baron, and whatever else they want.
And they will pick up their second Cloud Dragon, starting to get a little quick with the movement speed now with these dragons stacking up. And once again, of course, denying Dragon's Soul to CCG. You said whatever they want. They're going to rotate up to the Baron, see if they can't get that too. But it's just CCG missing Yunbi for the time being.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow misses again. If any of those ever land, it's going to be a big problem. Quacker's going to be able to come back with the TP in 10 seconds. That's a big Arcane Barrage, and that's going to be a kill onto Snow. Sniper Sophist Sage takes another off the map and stops the Baron single-handed.
DMK is going to walk up, start free hitting it. Quacker's telling Porton back in. They say, all right, we'll start up the Baron.
Great shot there, Sophist Sage. It's all going to be in his hands as DMK gets stunned up, has to go into the stasis to try to stay alive, but Sophist Sage is raining the shots on to Levitate on the backside, and Sudsy loses all his HP to Quacker. One more needlework to take him out over the wall, and Tony Top's going to drop as well. Quacker now is free to run rampant on the back line. He's chasing down Levitate on the other side as they're going to try to find a pick on the Yama here with the zombie Tony Top. He's going to drop. They have managed to escape on the side of Levitate, but now it is on the wrong side of the map. Wallflower trying to run it out here, but looks like he will be able to find his way out of here, but they don't even care anymore. They don't care about the Monkey Axe, man. They want to get their way onto this Baron. They want to be wearing purple for the foreseeable future, and they want to see how many turrets they can take with it.
Yeah, I'll take the Baron down onto the power play now. Still wanting that Dragon Soul for sure, but this will have to do for the time being. And the gold lead they've accrued so far will expand during this power play. Incredible play from Quacker there. The multi-kill was certainly in the cards for him there. Sophist Sage ends up picking up most of the kills, but turns that immediately into more damage into the stasis item there as well. And is a lot more survivable in these team fights, which is good to see from him. CCG looking strong, Gordo. This could be a good position for them.
What a great couple of matches out of CCG so far. They have been able to take Tony Top the distance in these first two games, very nearly eking out a win in game number 1. Now in game number 2, with the lead, with the Baron buff, one Dragon away from a potential soul. If they can keep finding these fights, they can keep this series going, and they can keep their promotion hopes alive. Setting up around the bottom side.
Setting up this vision, pushing deep into enemy territory. Playing the two-front battle here in the middle and the bottom lane.
Woo.
One turret down. Nice gold setup for CCG.
Quacker gets one too. It's a 6K gold lead nearly. Maybe 5K. Might be getting a little ahead of myself there, but
no, you're
very
right.
nice for CCG to keep the pressure on. They want to have an inhibitor turret, maybe even an inhibitor, if they could get it before this next Dragon spawn. And Sophist Sage, he does this real quick with the W's, gets it to about half HP, but now has to back away. Wallflower looking for the engage. Sophist Sage will blink out and will be safe.
You need to close this out in the next 6 minutes if you're CCG. You can't really continue to let Sudsy scale up. Let Tony continue scaling here. You want to close it out. Really just as soon as possible, if possible for them.
Yeah, here's the Baron buff minions again. Here comes Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Doesn't land. CCG's done a great job these last two games of dodging these out. That's a big True Shot barrage. Knocks Snow down to nearly nothing. And they finish off the turret, and they're going in for the dive. DMK is on top of Sudsy, but he just gets melted down, and nobody can get onto the Cataclysm. Yama is getting spun on top of. He's going to drop as well. There goes Quacker, Sophist Sage, and Yunbi. They're left all alone against 4 members of TikTok Tony Top. But Sophist Sage, he's kiting it out, and he takes out the monkey. One more would be able to at least give Yunbi a chance. And over the wall, Sophist Sage Siege manages to stay alive, but the Boomerang Blade lands. Yunbi will be able to take out Snow here, or will he, as Snow is just too quick inside of the jungle with that cloud buff, and now Levitate going to be able to chase him down the rest of the way. This is about to be an ace for TikTok Tony Top for just 2 of their members. They withstand the onslaught, and they keep their base safe.
Keep the base safe for the time being. 30 seconds on the next dragon as well. CCG won't be able to get up in time to mount the defense of the objective, so that will go down to Tony as well. As long as they're able to push out these waves and control the bottom side jungle, they certainly will be able to do that in the next 30 seconds. It just, it feels pretty bad to lose a fight like that. Being up so much gold, I think you take the reset and spend some of it instead of pushing your luck there, but that's how it goes sometimes. You're just caught up a little bit too far.
Yeah, still slightly ahead in gold. Really felt like they had the angle onto Sudsy there. The turret was down. DMK saw a chance to get him into Cataclysm. They do manage to kill him eventually, but the costs are just too great, and now this might be soul point for TikTok Tony Top. Once again, CCG cannot secure this objective for themselves. They're still recovering from the last team fight. It's going to be a 7 Drake game here, Axeman.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if Tony gets this Dragon Soul, they're going to be moving so fast with that quad stacked Cloud Soul. That's a lot of movement speed, Gordo. You don't want to mess around with movement speed like that. That much harder to get onto Sudsy too, right? I remember Quacker's having to like physically sprint after this guy, and the Vigar's just booking it right now with all the movement speed in his pocket. Difficult to contend with, to be sure.
Yeah, I love the itemization here from Quacker. He goes for the Force of Nature so that he can actually take that 1v1 up against Sudsy. Wants to make sure that he doesn't just get one shot by a big old Primordial Burst, and we're well in the position to where that's dangerous. I mean, Vigar, he is sitting here at 362 bonus AP from the stacks. He's got over 1,000 AP with the addition of that Rabadon's. That's a scary, scary little guy, and you need to make sure that you have the magic resist to avoid getting completely deleted by him.
100%. It limits the magic resist as well. Yummy cut out here.
Oh, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow feels like the first one this series that has landed out of Snow 2, and it might be a big one here. Yunbi has to try to escape, but the Decimating Smash is going to land, and Wallflower picks up that kill. 60-second death timers. Baron is going to be finished by the time Yunbi can teleport back into this.
Difficult play there for CCG, but I think they should be able to survive a little bit without Yunbi. Baron in 30 seconds. Again, some resets coming through from Quacker, and that means they're going to have to fight their way into the pit as Tony are able to establish control over the area.
There are some deep TP angles here for Yunbi, though.
Yeah, so really.
They're not going to have control over the Baron, but they can maybe try to find the follow-up fight, and I think that's where CCG have to make their stand. They can't just give this one up for free, Axeman.
No, you really can't. And back-to-back 40-minute games, we have to start talking about the mental game at 2, right? Baron going down.
Quacker's here. 3k HP. He's just going in. He's found his angle onto Snow and Levitate. He melts right through him. He melts right through Sudsy. That's 2 kills for the side of CCG in trade for the Baron. Levitate's going to drop as well. That's a shutdown earned by Sophist Sage. Quacker now waiting for Wallflower to come out. This is going to be a near ace for CCG. They have found their fight. They got their TP off of Quacker. He melted the backline single-handedly, and CCG, they could close it out right here.
This could be the end of the game here. Quacker with a big triple kill to end it out. They're going to take at least 1 inhib, maybe 2 inhibs. But keep in mind, Tony Top does have the Baron-empowered minions to be able to defend. He's got a big health bar as well. It's going to be close, Gordo.
It's the Gwen pick that you foretold, Axeman. The Quacker Gwen might be what takes CCG to Game 3 in this series. Tony Top on the namesake team has to try to withstand against this siege from CCG and keep themselves winning, but it's not going to happen. CCG takes us to game number 3.
It's game number 3, Gordo. I cannot believe it. We actually won the game against Tony Top. That was so difficult. You could see at every stage of the game just how close these games are, and man, oh man, holy cow, we're going to game 3. Gordo, I felt like most of that game I could not freaking breathe, man. Holy, like, I just, like, what? Come on. Finally, Quacker Gwen was the thing to do it for them. Yeah, I'm really glad we finally got this Son Gwen matchup because he really made it come through for us. And we shut down Sudsy's Vigarp. We actually did it.
They actually find the angle there. I mean, it's all on Quacker's Gwen. Every single bit of it is on Quacker's Gwen there, X-Man. He gets the TP deep in there and just kills the entire backline. He kills Snow, he kills Sudsy, he gets Levitate low enough to very easily die to Sophist Sage, and he kills Wallflower. He does it all. And, you know, he gets the win there, and he is very deservedly now going to Game 3 up against TikTok Tony Top.
Holy, yeah, cut it to break, man. Holy cow. I'm speechless. I can't believe we're actually doing it.
Take us out of here, Gurf. We got to recover before Game 3 starts.
Save us from ourselves, Gurf.
We'll be back.
We are sworn to mend the bond that we have torn. Raise a storm and go where we've never been before. We are sworn to mend the bond that we have torn. We are the people of the clouds. A title we have been endowed. So join us, we all stand and shout. An ancient race we are and proud. So fill the glasses to the brink. A heavy hand, so you must think. But I have found the missing link. Our fate is written in me. Raise a storm and go where we have never gone before. We have sworn to mend the bond that we have torn. Raise a storm and go where we have never been before. We have sworn to mend the bond that we
All I know is I just need her. All I know is you just need her. All I know is we just need her. All I know is you just need her.
Running back. Because I'm awfully deceiving. I always say I'm fine, but that's not the true meaning. The walls are caving in and it leaves me with feelings. But the only one that matters is I won't be defeated. They'll keep talking, pray that I lost it. I keep it cool, my attitude stay frosted. And I'm intending to bring a revolution. There far too many problems, but far few solutions. So let's march towards the hills. Let's march with the dreams to be fulfilled. The pen is dead and I'm making them sign a bill. Letting out a future is hard to me still. And all I know is I just need a. All I know is you just need a. All I know is we just need a. All I know is you just need a.
All I know is you just need a. All I know is I just need a breathe. All I know is you just need a breathe. All I know is we just need a breathe. All I know is you just need a breathe. All I know is I just need a breathe. All I know is you just need a breathe. All I know is we just need a breathe. All I know is you just need a.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got an Axeman 87 JPEG here in the absence of a camera. We've got a game number 3 between TikTok Tony Top and CCG. They've done it, Axeman. They closed one out off a big Quacker Gwen pick. You could not have written it up any better. Now we have got ourselves a third matchup to close out the day.
We do a little Scion Gwenning. That is for sure. Yeah, that's a dream matchup for him. I think this might switch up the draft a little bit going into this game. You know, maybe they don't let him have the Karma necessarily. Ezreal Karma huge for them. Of course, the Varus ban coming through as well. Varus Karma potentially really strong for this team as well. So that might be something that potentially would ban away. Also, beating Sudsy's Vigar is huge for CCG in the draft, right? Because even though Sudsy might feel comfortable running that back, you know, we've already beaten it. They might be forced back onto a third pick potentially. I think we continue banning out the Aurelion Soul as well, and just trying to drag and stack, trying to play through the bottom side of the map and give Sophos Sage as much resources as he can handle.
For sure. I mean, he did fantastically in that Ezreal game. They were able to funnel so much gold into him. Was crucial in keeping some of those losing team fights close, in helping them win some of those winning team fights, in cleaning up even in that last team fight. And CCG just get all the pieces they needed for one fight to close out the game. That's all they needed in game number 1, too. I mean, a couple of pieces fall differently in those game number 1 team fights, and this is a 2-0 win for CCG. So definitely a solid shot for them coming in to this third game of the day. Winner will move on to that top 4. And already, putting the Mickey Mouse group allegations to rest, I do got to say. CCG
I would say so.
overperformed expectations for sure and are looking very capable of taking this series.
100%, Gordo. Gerv, take us over the graphic real quick. You got something to tell them. Here, that now that we are in Game 3, you have one more opportunity to win mystery skin giveaway. Exclamation point raffle in the chat will enter you to win for our final giveaway today. Make sure you get those entries in the next few minutes or so, and we'll get you entered to win the raffle. We know who won the last few raffles. I think it was Jess. Jess won one, right? Congrats to Jess in the chat on winning that last mystery skin giveaway. No idea who won the first one. I wasn't in chat for that. Also, a lot of people telling me I look great. Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Never looked better.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
It's all good. I need a new camera, so.
Don't we all? Sometimes we all need a little extra tech. Maybe a big CCG win here. Give us all the inspiration we need to pick up whatever we're missing. As Gurf, do we have replays? We have any team fights from the last game that we could show everybody? He's gonna do a peek. We'll see. We might have one or two in the tank for you guys. If we don't, we don't. We'll be in draft before too long, I think. All right. Well, we don't have anything, but that's fine. The players, they're getting into the lobby. They're taking care of some biological obligations, but they will be able to get into the game before too long. It's been a long series. Those are 2 very long games, X-Man. I really did not think that we were still going to be here casting at what is 2:15 p.m. my time, 3:15 Eastern time. That's it's going late. It's going long.
Back-to-back 50-minute games, man. I really want them to draft 2 early game compositions. Let's just coin flip this thing in 20 minutes. Let's just go at it head-to-head. Renekton top, Nidalee, all that good stuff. Give us the Lucian, Nami, Zeri treatment, all that good stuff, and we'll end this one out quick. It'll be fun.
It's definitely what you want. Would like some good violence here. Would like to not have like a 20-minute period without any real fights where I don't know who's winning. My mental can't handle that. Not for a 3rd game in a row.
For me, I just get really quiet and like it's not good for the cast, right? It's like everyone home's like, Axeman, say something. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. It's been 20 minutes, nothing has happened. So
oh, that's all the R's, baby. I was the last R waiting. We typed 4 R's in just a couple of seconds, and that means it's time to get into draft for game number 3. In client is right there. Just got to get Gurf to transition us over. Here we go. I'm surrounded by some blank boxes, and they're soon to have champions in them, Axeman. We have got ourselves game number 3 draft underway.
You know who's going in one of these boxes? It's got to be the Ash pick, and the Lee Sin taken away from DMK here as well. And it just has to be, unfortunately, with these bands coming through. The Aurelion Soul band, the Olaf band, all of it coming through once again. I love the Sejuani band. Take that away from Wallflower. He doesn't need it. And maybe we see the Wukong band here through as well.
No, they're keeping their bands the same. TikTok Tony Top. They believe in their recipe. So does CCG here a little bit. I want CCG to keep that A-Soul ban. I don't want to deal with late game A-Soul. Not while these games are going to 45 minutes. We'll see what TikTok Tony Top want for themselves. I heard production just go, what? So I think that means there's something interesting here. And it's an Ash ban from the side of TikTok Tony Top.
Levitate bans the Ash. You know what that means? Karma first pick for Snow 2. Finally taking it away from Yama in this series, identifying the issue with their draft. Gino, hire me, man. I can tell you this from game 1, buddy. Come on, man. Let's do business.
Yeah, that's a tough position for CCG here because they need that A-Soul ban. They can't ban the Karma here on R3. That's not an option, man. You gotta take away the big Star Dragon. So let's see what TikTok Tony Top want to first pick for themselves here. They've been taking the Ash whenever they can throughout this series, but now maybe it will be that Karma, or maybe it'll be a dodge out of the lobby. and we're gonna have to remake this this little draft law preview here. So we'll be back before too long. A little bit of a client bug hitting up TikTok Tony Top. So these are the bans though. Those bans are locked in. Just they're not missing picks though. Don't you guys worry. We'll create some new draft laws. We'll get this up for you before too long.
Kind of sad my camera died. My dog just got in to visit me. No, she's
Oh.
barking. What are you barking at? Yeah, you barking at me? No, you're all right.
All right, resetting. The bans are
You
the
know,
same,
get the
so
draft.
we can speed run those.
Yeah, get to the bands real quick, and then we'll get into the blue side. First pick here. I'm thinking it's going to be Karma for Snow 2, and then they draft Varus maybe as well. It could be the Varus just first pick here. But they didn't ban Ezreal, so maybe just a Karma first pick there for Snow 2, I'm thinking. That's what I would bet my money on. But the Wukong pick potentially as well could come through. So keep your eyes on that first pick, blue side. It will absolutely set the tone for what this game is trying to be. I think Wallflower has been so important for Tony that they might just go for the Wukong. I'm feeling pretty strong about that.
Yeah, that could definitely be possible. There's the hover, and there's the lock-in. You called it.
There you go.
It's going to be a first pick Wukong, which means the Karma's available for Yama, baby. We can take another Karma game here. We can run back that Ezreal Karma that we took last time. That was so good for him. See what they end up taking for themselves here. Quacker with that first pick. Looking around at his options. Hovering the Gragas.
Not the Gragas.
Locked.
Gross. Yeah, it's a big flex pick for him there. Hopefully we get the Karma through, boys. Come on. Need that Karma for Yama.
Been a little busted for certain. Hovering the
Varus
Varus.
is good too. Yeah, Varus.
It was good in game 1. Yeah, I mean, I can't. It was banned in game 2. I can't fault them for taking a Varus here. They do take that Varus here. So, see, Karma's still going to be on the table for both teams. But I do love that Gragas. I told you last game, Axeman, if the Gwen pops off and wins the game, it's because of the Gragas. It's because they had that flex pick on R4. And that happens. So you got to give that game at least a solid amount of credit over to the Gragas pick, even though Yunbi, he didn't have the most flashy performance on.
You got to give it up. That's all I'm saying, man. Lucianami, sprint it. Yes, every time. Let's go. Hell yeah. Let's end this one in 24 minutes, boys. Get the Lucianami going through here. We got Varus. Hopefully Karma coming through once again. But yeah, that's not going to be a strong lane at the start of this fight. The Blitz Crank. Come on, Yama. Lock it in, buddy.
It's a spicy one.
Nautilus.
The Nautilus is a flex pick now, baby. They're gonna
Surely
take
not
it for
twice.
CCG.
Surely not twice, right? Right?
I mean,
Maybe. Hey.
it only takes one game, man, and now it's a flex pick for forever. At least for a couple of months here for DMK. If DMK is on the other team and you see a Nautilus lock in, every coach in the tournament is gonna have in the back of their head, did play Nautilus jungle that one game. It was kind of good. Maybe they're going to do that. And that means, it has a whole bunch of spillover effects. It means you feel really uncomfortable banning junglers here, In a vacuum, you might think, well, there's also the Gragas there, but in a vacuum, pretend Gragas isn't there. You might think, oh, we've got Wukong, they have Nautilus, we can ban junglers, but maybe those are wasted bans now.
Could be wasted bans for sure. They're going to ban away top laners here. Could be wasted bans. They're going to ban away Vigar on the back end. Really hit Sudsy in the chin with this one. This should be a Gnar ban, actually, into Tony.
Nope.
Oh,
there's hovered. There's locked in.
All I
Called
do
it.
is win. Come on now.
Pretty good stuff. They're trying to pinch Quacker's pool a little bit farther here as well. Because I told you, they can't ban junglers. They can't ban supports. Those might already be in there. They are hovering the Renekton ban, and that will be locked in. So just going to try to pinch out onto Quacker. They can save last pick for Quacker here. The Orianna's available if they want it for Yunbi. This is like a dream draft so far if they can just lock that one in for themselves. It's a Vi. Looks like a Vi. It's a Vi. Okay, well, no Nautilus jungle. Saving last pick for either Yunbi or Quacker. I guess the Gragas is still a flex between the solo lanes. I'm a little disappointed, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, a little disappointed, but that's what makes it a flex is that it can go into different roles, right? So if it was always jungle, it wouldn't be a flex pick. But Sudsy and Azir, a lot of potential playmaking. There's a lot of big team fighting as well. The ultimate.
Yeah, looking like it's probably one of the more... he's just moving down the tier list of scaling mid laners, right? He starts with the Asol, that gets banned. He takes the Vigar, that gets banned. And now he takes the Azir. And now going to be a Fiora for Tony Top. He is willing to throw down with Quacker here in this last match Do you play the Gragas to try to equalize, or do you take some kind of fight and matchup here, Quacker, and see if you can fight your way up through the Fiora?
Depends. This whole game is going to either fall on Yunbi or Quacker. Whoever picks this champion next. Oriana's up. Yeah, Victor.
Victor?
There we go.
Victor.
The Victor
Locked
coming
in.
through.
Okay. Well, we play even in the top lane on this
play
Gragas.
even.
We take the Victor for the mid lane. And CCG almost looking like the scaling comp here, Axeman. They've kind of switched it up on us. They look like they have pretty good team fighting coming into the later game, and they're up against this Lucian. We all know how Lucian and the Victors go. We're all North American fans here, Axeman. We all have a lot of memories associated with that particular matchup.
Yep, the Lucian Victor is pretty cool. Victor, of course, from television's Arcane. So really cool there as well. Vi also.
Vi too.
Vi also there from Arcane as well. So the Arcane buff goes the way of CCG. See how it works out for them. For me, Gordo, I am looking forward to the Nautilus gameplay from Yama. I think it's going to be exciting down there with the Varus.
Yeah. What happened next, man? How did Karma just clear this draft? I mean, I guess Lucian Nami kind of fudges things up a little bit. Means that you ought to end up going for this engaged support in the form of the Nautilus, but I think he's got a sick Nautilus. I'm not disappointed at all. I love his Thresh as well, but Yama's been pretty good on these hook champions. I'm excited to see him get to flex those muscles a little bit instead of just spamming out shields all day.
I think Yama's ults tracking carries through a lot of mechanical movement and mobility is what's going to save them here. I think that's going to be what's strong for this composition, but looks like we're into the spectator delay now, Gordo.
We are, and we got a bit of a pause in there as well, so it's going to be somewhere between 3 minutes and a few more minutes until we're able to get into this game. We're going to throw it to a quick break here while we determine exactly how long that break's going to be, and we will be back before too long to check out game number 3 up against TikTok, Tony Top, and CCG. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to today's broadcast of TikTok Tony Top taking on CCG, where we are going all the way to game number 3. CCG, they get the upset win in game number 2. They played a very close game number 1, and this could definitely go either direction based on what we've seen today already, Axeman.
Really good here, Gordo. What's up, guys? Axeman87. We're here in the game 3, backs against the wall. Sudden death for both teams. It is only one victory in this tournament. Tony Top needs to qualify for promotion relegation. CCG, meanwhile, have to win finals, I'm pretty sure. But you don't win finals without beating Tony Top, so this is a huge victory for them. Also, just being the tournament favorite is massive. I mean, in terms of exposure for these players as well. So really, really good stuff for CCG. Arguably one of the most important games of their career happening in front of you right now.
Absolutely here. And yeah, I mean, whether they have to win finals or just make finals depends on a few things. It depends how Native did. It depends how Supernova did. I'm sure some of those series are already over by now, given how long this one's been going. But I've been too busy here, Axeman. I haven't been getting fed the results. I have no idea what's going on over there. So let's just keep the knowledge simple, right? Both teams need to win. TikTok Tony Top will lock in a trip with a win. CCG will keep their dreams alive with a win. That's all you need to know.
100% here. Gonna be starting the lane off right with a bunch of damage. Love to see that from the Victor. Wants to farm up. Tony Top's on the flank angle. Quacker, he's in trouble.
Yeah, having a rough early trade up against that Fiora, as many trades early against Fiora are. Gonna get zoned off a little bit of farm there. Really great lane matchups that TikTok Tony Top have drafted for themselves here. Gonna make life very easy for Wallflower on this first pick Wukong. But I do like how CCG looks coming later into the scaling. If they can withstand the onslaught in top and bot, it will be a pretty good recipe for them to be able to win later on.
So we need SN to lose, right? CCG needs SN to lose?
I believe they do, yes. They would like it. They don't need it, but they would like it.
All right, TFT 2-0'd Supernova earlier, so
Pretty good.
that's at least one marble.
We know how Native did. Is Native playing right now? They're probably playing right now, right?
They're probably playing right now, huh? Yeah.
Okay.
But
they would also like a Native loss. Basically, as a team that didn't score a ton of points in the first one, CCG likes it when some of the teams on the fringe lose and the teams that are already off to a big lead win. So they want a Maryville win, they want a Supernova loss, and so far they're halfway there.
Halfway there. Southwest Sage and Yama still controlling the lane as they did in the previous 2 games. DMK with a little invade there isn't going to get too much off of Wallflower, who maintains his 2-camp lead for the time being. He's actually going to chase DMK back into his own jungle.
Yep. Junglers matching up against each other there, the Vi. Not going to have quite that early game slamming power that the Wukong has if the abilities are all used, especially when it's a level lead for Wallflower. So he keeps the pressure on. He pushes DMK back into his own jungle, and he's looking for the double scuttle here. Looks like he'll probably be able to find it.
Wow, another big invade from Wallflower here. Just pushing deep in enemy jungle, deep in enemy territory. He gets a big CS lead up on the Vi. He's going to continue chasing DMK out of the jungle as well. You need a rotation over if you're DMK.
Yeah, DMK does manage to pick up some of the little Krugs. He is just getting pushed back here. He snagged a lot of them, so he gets a fair bit of the gold. He closes up some of the CS gap. Ooh, Yama. Very close to landing that dredge line in the bot lane. It looks like it's just going to be a recall for the top side of CCG as Wallflower has successfully pushed DMK out of his jungle, doing a great job on the early path here on the Wukong.
Ooh, sick hook.
Levitate takes a fair bit of damage, but it's going to have to be Yama flashing away. The damage that this Lucian Nami duo presents is just a little bit too much for him. He's going to be down both summoners now.
Yeah, down both summoners, unfortunately for him. Little CS lead for Southwest Sage. They push in and look to continue controlling this lane. Yama takes a bunch of damage though, man. He's got to start healing back up here a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yama and Sophist Sage just trying to crash in their waves. You know, they're taking a lot of damage onto their support, but as long as they can crash the wave in, it all ends up being worth it. Same deal with Yunbi pushing into Sudsy here. They just want to get their chances to recall, their chances to spend some of their money, be able to brawl just a little bit more effectively. It's Tony. It's a nice trade into Quacker here. This is the danger of the Fiora. He's already got himself nearly a 2-wave lead, and he's going to be looking to build that bigger and bigger. The Gragas might be the great equalizer, but he's certainly not going to be winning these trades up against the Fiora.
No, not whatsoever, right? And that it does mean little CS leads across the board over to Tony Top, giving them a 600 gold lead across Summoner's Rift here so far. No resets coming through on majority of that, though. Actually, you take a look across the board, the resets really have come through. That's
Ooh, that's a hook back in, landed onto Snow. He is going to flash away. Will be able to jump over with the Blast Cone. DMK nearly finding himself an angle there, but will not be able to keep the fish locked down.
Yeah, Tony Top of a lot of the items so far. CCG still have a lot of those summoner spells, so expect big plays from CCG soon as they try to use those summoner spell advantages.
For sure. DMK pushing around on the top side, back to clearing out. Still down in CS versus Wallflower in what's been a pretty calm early game thus far, but has just resulted in a gold lead for TikTok Tony Top. They have done so much to be keeping themselves ahead here, clearing out the enemy jungle camps, making sure to counter jungle wherever possible, building up a CS lead individually on the top side, especially for Tony. It's really where a lot of that gold is being found from. It's really up to DMK to hit that level 6, get that assault and battery, and find an angle to put his teammates back in the lead. Probably through that bot lane. He's still just clearing things away. He's been set behind by Wallflower's counter jungling, so it's just going to arrive a little bit later. Ooh, that's a nice shuffle back from Sudsy. Flash away from Yunbi to stay alive. Will manage to save his own life, but he is going to be down that crucial summoner spell. Sudsy still has his available, so keep an eye out in a couple of minutes once that Emperor's Divide is back available. Yunbi going to be a big target.
Yeah, Wallflower has his flash up too as well as Tony Top and Levitate. So lots of big flash timers there for Tony as they continue trying to make plays here. Yama big hook.
Yeah, good damage onto Levitate. Rail of Arrows gets a little bit more in there, but not going to be enough to push through any further. They don't quite have the full lockdown combo yet. Chain's Corruption plus Depth Charge means that Levitate is going to stay still for a very long time, but got to hit level 6 before you have access to it. Meanwhile, though, the pressure does mean that DMK can start up the Dragon, and it looks like he's going to be able to pick that one up.
Yeah, they're going to pick this one up for free. The best price there is. Dragon goes down. Can't remember the last time I got something free off Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to have to go on there later today. Make use of the Sunday.
Get yourself a new camera.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll get a new camera. I haven't looked for cameras on Facebook. I should try that. Actually, that might be a good place. I know eBay's bummed right now, man. You seen the prices on eBay? It's a buyer's market, man. You gotta get on there.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta get yourself, especially for tech. You know, if you need a camera and your only criteria is it has to work, you can definitely get some pretty good prices there. Sophist Sage does get another wave crash and interrupts the recall from Snow. There'll be a little bit of extra time for the Varus here to just keep things pushed in, and he's actually going to end up with a nice little CS lead. Yeah, Levitate can't recall here. He's going to lose a whole wave if he does.
Yeah, so unfortunate positioning there from Levitate, but he's going to lose this entire wave. No, he's going to stick around and take it. Oh, man, now you're down items.
Yep.
Boom.
And Sophist Sage doesn't have to stop doing this, right? It's not like Wallflower is here pushing him off. He's just going to clear out the next wave, and Levitate's going to have to stay for that one, too, or he's going to lose that one. It's a tough position to be in. Great job by Yama and Sophist Sage on the wave control, just keeping the pressure on and ensuring that it's going to be a rough situation for Levitate for the foreseeable future, as they get a free recall off of it.
So critically here, when we talk about, like, hey, you know, just how well are Levitate and Snow doing, this time last game, Sophist Sage was hitting down that first turret and took all 5 plates at 11 minutes into the game. So, hey, Levitate and Snow are having their best lane they've had so far in the series, and it still looks tough, but This is as good as they have done. We're not going to see Sophos Sage going into these big fights with those 3,000 gold leads this game. So going to be an entirely different game plan for CCG.
Yeah, up against the Lucian Nami, though, I mean, I take this, you know? This is a pretty solid performance here from Sophos Sage and Yama. Be able to just keep the waves pressured on, get themselves a nice little CS lead. They'll be able to fight over dragons effectively. And, you know, you still have this powerful scaling Victor. You still have a lot of great lockdown for your team. Be able to make picks. And you're going to have the range advantage come the later game. You are going for the lethality Varus, so... You know, maybe it's a little closer as far as scaling in the marksman position. Maybe it even favors Tony Top a little bit, given that knowledge, but it means they're going to have the power around bot side, which is definitely what they want.
Is certainly what they want here. Quacker's lying in wait. Cass going to connect there. A little bit of free damage for him.
Ooh, that's the stun, though, from Tony, and he's going to get the full grand challenge off. Yeah, that's going to be a full health bar for the side of Tony Top. He's going to be very happy with how that trade went. And you just can't body slam at the Fiora, man. It's so tempting when you think you have an angle, but it really is punishing when he can do stuff like that to you.
Yeah, it really is. Quacker having the roughest game so far that we've seen from him. Not a lot of winning lanes, actually, as we look across here. Would like to see DMK down bot side more looking for these dives, but he's been having some trouble with the counter jungling.
Ooh, hook from Yama. Here's the full combo. Can't get away his Snow, but the piercing arrow doesn't land. Yunbi has to flash away here once again, and he's going to be able to stay alive. Assault and Battery gets through on a Wallflower. One more hit will be able to take him out. He goes with the decoy and will stay alive, but that leaves Sudson all alone. And first blood is picked up for Yunbi in the mid lane.
Finding a little bit of traction there for CCG. They get the first blood down onto the Victor. That's a nice injection of gold into CCG, much needed into their damage dealers.
Looks like we got a little replay there to show you guys how they managed to pick up that kill. Maybe in a sec. DMK hovering around bot lane. We're actually going to hold the replay for that reason. He might be going for a dive here. Don't want to end up missing out on that one. Yeah, he's backing away. Now we can run the replay. Run the replay
real quick. Watch this one for you. Yama opens things up with a killer hook, as he always does. Really good stuff. And oh, okay, we got the long replay. There we go. Hooks starts off with a hook. Now under turret, the wave comes out as well. And look at this first blood, man. Yunbi laid so low, in so much danger from Wallflower. But they're able to find this little 2v1. Yunbi dodges forward past the soldier and lays the damage down.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. It's going to be a little back and forth there from Quacker and Tony. You really got to respect the damage, though, with that Divine Sunderer completed. He is going to cut right through the big belly of that Gragas. Now just trying to clear out the wave, trying to make Tony take some extra turret shots. Doesn't land. The body slam was so close there. That would have been huge for Quacker.
Dragging up both sides, fighting over it now. Getting a lot of nice shots this top lane matchup, though. Quacker up under turret.
Sure. Looks like it's going to be CCG.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to fight over this, actually.
Yeah, I would have expected a fight as well, but it doesn't look like TikTok Tony Top are in position. Wallflower coming over here now, but he's too late. That is going to be a smite for DMK, and that is going to be a 2-0 Dragon lead for the side of CCG.
Nice little pickup for them there. Consistently 500 gold behind Tony Top, but, I mean, that's narrow margins just that we've been seeing all series long. Both these teams incredibly evenly matched.
Absolutely been the case there.
Yeah, really.
Tony Top.
I mean,
still keeping the pressure up in top lane. This has been probably his best lane performance so far. I mean, they've been giving the counter picks to Quacker throughout most of the series and been trying their best to keep Tony down. But now Tony, he's got himself about a 20 CS lead. He's got himself the mythic item completed, and he is keeping the trades going onto Quacker. Rift Herald is looking like it is going to be secured by Wallflower here before too long.
Quacker just kind of making the best of a bad situation, neutralizing up top side as he has been all game long. He's got the Row in hand now, so starting to scale a little bit more effectively. These team fights are going to be a lot better place for him than the 1v1 with the Fiora.
Yeah.
This is something they're going to have to contend with throughout the late game, actually, as Fiora is going to be in the side lane for most of that game. I don't actually know who they send to, like, stop the Fiora. The Gragas is going to be not super effective at that job later into this game.
Yeah, for sure. So now, just going to be a little bit of calm now before this Rift Herald gets dropped. Wallflower is redeployed back out onto the map. He's moving himself towards the bottom side, maybe to try to get some gold back over towards Levitate, but this Rift Herald's pretty late. And there's not going to be any turret plates left available, so not really going to be a chance to secure too much additional gold unless you can get a kill, find an opportunity to really take out one of these turrets entirely. First turret gold is still up for grabs, so would be a big prize for whoever is able to net it for themselves. Yunbi really starting to get the wave clear advantage here. You know, he's got the upgrade on his laser, and that is all it really takes to be able to clear waves all day long.
That's all it takes to sweep out the vision. Establish the vision lines. This turret's definitely going down to Fiora. Yeah, there it goes.
Demolish. You know, those demolish things. Takes the turret out on its own. Tony Top gets a lot of gold in his pocket. Quacker's trying to scale up with the Rod of Ages, but this is going to be a big lead for the Fiora now. Instead, might be a 4-man dive in the bottom lane. Yama does get spotted out. So does DMK. They don't know Yunbi's here for sure, but they can make a guess. They're just going to abandon their turret here. It's going to get traded back by CCG.
Yep, CCG will take this one down. Meanwhile, Rift Herald dropped in the mid lane here. Yunbi trying to defend with DMK. Chaos Storm comes out. Looking just fine to me. Rift Herald going to get the crash, but not going to get the entire turret.
Yeah, not quite everything they wanted there for TikTok Tony Top, as Sophist Sage is now rotating his way over towards mid lane. He's just going to try to get himself some of that farm, some of that turret gold, now that they've successfully taken out the turret in the bottom lane, tied things up. Is about a 1k gold lead to TikTok Tony Top. A lot of that off of the lead in the top lane, especially with that first turret going down. So keep your eyes on Tony, what he's going to be able to do in the side lane here, what he's going to be able to do flanking in these team fights. It's going to have a huge influence on whether or not CCG is going to be able to build themselves up this Dragon Soul and build themselves a good angle in this game.
Varus really effective at this mid-game point of the game, where he's allowed to sit in the mid lane and just hit these waves. His range is so much further, effective range so much further than Lucian's. They could really just sit back and hit these minions, you know, poke out a little bit as well. This is going to be 4 in the mid lane. They're going to try something.
Assault and Battery popped onto Levitate, but he's deep underneath the turret. A nice interrupt from the Tidal Wave going to keep Wallflower safe as well, as the TP is in from Sudsy and Tony Top. Going to get matched by a TP from Quacker, but maybe a little bit too late as Yama melts down. It's going to be the grand challenge popped on him as well. It's 5 versus 4. TikTok Tony Top with the advantage as they've claimed their first kill of the game, and now just going to keep sieging mid.
Yeah, and that Vi lockdown not nearly enough to get onto Levitate, unfortunately. He was way back in the lane before you could even blink, man. The E, the flash, or not the flash, I guess, the dash there. Also the Gale Force all the way back in that lane. DMK actually had the flash over the wall to get away. Yama just caught up too far, unfortunately. It's classic Nautilus maneuver.
For sure.
Picked off like that.
Managed to get the lockdown there. It was a good idea from DMK, but it does get nullified. And you know, Yama's the target you're really willing to give up here. He's just the Nautilus. He doesn't need to be on the map all the time, but just kind of means a little bit of extra gold going over to really the Nami. It's not like that matters too much either. It means that Banner getting completed a little bit early. Now let's see what can be done. Ooh, Hook nearly lands on a Wallflower, but Yama doesn't quite snag him here. The dragon is being aggroed, is being pulled out. This would be soul point for CCG.
You know we want that other Cloud Soul.
Dive in. Wallflower gets the Cyclone onto 2. Make that 3 as Yama just gets melted down and Yunbi gets bopped as well. It's a 2-for-0 team fight for TikTok Tony Top. Great engage off of Wallflower, and they have full control over this Dragon Pit wherever they want it. CCG, they're not stopping, though. Quacker is stepping up. DMK going to smite away his own blue if he can't get anything else, but he's not even going to manage to secure that one. Wallflower is the one who walks away with it. He was the one who expended the smite, so if DMK can get in here, he can smite it away, but he's already in mid lane. He knows he can't.
100% there, Gordo, and Dragon will fall to Tony Top. CCG still looking for a way back into this game. Baron spawns onto Summoner's Rift. We're 5 minutes off of our next Dragon. Break up the Dragon's going to make this game go even longer. That means we're in the super late game territory, but Victor on CCG will be scaling up. Azir for Sudsy also scaling up really effectively as well. Lucian finds some pretty good late game heat there too, actually.
Sure. Be pretty strong these upcoming fights, and it's just getting to be a kind of big gold lead for CCG. They're at about 3K in the lead. Most of this game, most of this series, we've been sitting at like a 2K gold lead for one side, talking about how it isn't that big. Now that it's 3K gold at 21 minutes, I think we're allowed to say, you know, that's a sizable lead for TikTok Tony Top. They are having a great game for themselves so far. They've stopped the Dragon stacking. They are getting more gold into the places they want it to be on, and they have super powerful team fighting with this Azir and this Wukong.
100% right. Really powerful team fighting for them for sure. And some really big team fight ultimates coming through here. Tony Top is able to proc that Fiora ultimate incredibly quickly as well, which is certainly going to influence the course of these team fights as you look further into the game. It's not a good prospect really for CCG. You want to make sure that you're not leaving Yama and Quacker up super far out there to get ulted by Fiora like that, to get picked off by the Azir shuffle as well. Lots of really nice pick potential on the side of Tony Top.
Not a great answer here from Quacker, as he's just trying to stop his turret from being demolished by Tony Top, but he's far enough behind now. Tony Top's scaled up enough that there's not a lot that Gragas can do. He can just do his best to try to clear out the wave, but they're still going to be taking a chunk every single time, especially when that demolish proc is up. And Tony just another wave or two away from being able to claim this one. And oh my goodness, look at that trade when he gets himself onto a vulnerable point.
Not bad at all. Top of stage still in the mid lane, clearing up the minions. We'll see both mid laners up top side and the side lane there. Going to head back and forth, and it is Quacker matching up Tony Top in the side lane down bot side here as well, neutralizing that Fiora a little bit. Looks like one more push and Tony Top will be able to take down that bot lane turret. Further open up the map for Tony Top.
Ooh, Levitate opening up with the culling there, chunking Yama incredibly low. Wallflower going to move on in and spite away some birds while he's at it. Just trying to keep DMK on the back foot, and this siege looking pretty strong from Tony Top as Yama has to go in for the recall. They should be able to get themselves this mid-outer turret without too much trouble.
Yeah, just like that, they're going to lose their mid turret, this bot turret. Looks like Quacker will be able to actually end up defending it. Tony Top is moving off in the jungle, perhaps taking the reset. 2 minutes till that next Dragon. Both sides still looking for the angle, trying to push out. But yeah, that gold lead has expanded considerably for Tony Top. They're really good with the lead here, Gordo.
Yeah, they are doing a great job. This is really a momentum-focused team. You know, when they showed this in the last OQ, right, where in their first rounds of Swiss, they dropped a bunch of games to some pretty low-tier teams back in OQ1. And then, you know, they kind of found their rhythm. They found their way to get early leads and have been able to go on a pretty big win streak since then. They were like 7-0 in this OQ until they dropped their first game to Supernova. And now this game, this is the first game they've really been able to net themselves a strong early lead over CCG, and they just look so much more comfortable. They are fully in the driver's seat, and they are just building it up bigger and bigger with these well-drilled macro plays. I'm moving back around towards mid lane here. It's off the stage.
I keep catching myself like game watching, Gordo. I'm really sorry. I'm just like, I feel like I'm
it's
watching.
a really tight series, man. It's so tempting to just be
once
like...
again, I feel like I just don't want to say anything because I'm gonna like ruin it or something. I don't know.
No, it's a tough one, dude. I kind of wish I was just sitting here watching the series, dude. I'm regretting my life choices that have led me to needing to commentate this game.
Does anybody else want to cast? I just want to watch the game. He's looking for the angle here. He's a little far out in front. They're trying to bait him in. Yama and Dragon Min Kim are looking for the The angle through here. He's charging up the Q. Not going to proc that one.
Ooh.
Quacker looks for him under turret. He wants the smoke.
Gets some good damage there. Chunks Tony Top to about half HP. That's going to make this teleport angle a little dangerous for Tony. I think CCG, they're like, you know what? Screw it, man. This is the closest thing to an advantage state we've gotten in a while. Let's see what we can get here. DMK working on the Dragon solo. Yunbi taking a big culling to the face. Going to have to back away here from Levitate. Is now Tony Top. They're moving their way down here. They want to try to contest the Dragon. Coming around from the side is Wallflower. Nice pull out onto the Dragon there from DMK. Wallflower's now in the pit. It's a 4-on-4 for this objective. Nobody's going to be able to TP in. Not while they're staring each other down in the top lane. Tony looking for the fight up against Quacker. Pops the grand challenge. Meanwhile, fight's breaking out over the Dragon. Here comes Tidal Wave. It does get snagged away by DMK, but he's going to lose his life to the Emperor's Divide. Teleport being channeled in by Quacker. He arrives to the play. It's a 4 versus 4. He knocks Wallflower back into the base, and it's going to be Yunbi picking up that kill. It's a 1-for-1, but now it has left Tony Top all alone with the top lane inhibitor. He has melted down that turret and is now going to back away, content with that prize.
Win some, you lose some here for CCG. They're down even further in gold now, but they do have that dragon advantage back. The Dragon Soul is within sight. One more dragon, and they will have that Cloud Soul. Does it benefit them this game as much as it has in games past? It does not, but hey, that's another advantage they could put in their back pocket, right? Tony Top going to start up the Baron here. It looks like he's going to actually just walk away from that one. Not gonna continue up on that Baron.
Come on, Tony Top. You can't solo Baron at 30%
Hey,
HP.
don't give him any ideas. Yeah, he might try. I don't know. He's got the Ravenous Hydra in hand that might be close if he's full HP, but he's not. So, yeah, it takes a reset, and they're going to fight over the top side of the map once again here. Quacker, super, super strong. Comes into that team fight really late, and with Tony Top in tow as well there. So, not able to have that much effect over the fight. I'm curious to see what these fights look like 5v5. I would hazard a guess and say probably not so good for CCG, but that's just the gold lead, man. At this point, it's starting to get pretty bad for him.
I want to see what some of these fights look like in a replay. Gareth, you got one for us here, if I'm not mistaken.
Show us that replay. Give it to us, Gurf. Here's the replay for you. Teleport for Quacker comes in at some point just during this fight. Watch out for that. Watch out for play coming through here as well. Yeah, big Q forward from DMK. Gets the Dragon down, teleport channeled. From Quacker, he gets out quick, man. Takes so much damage right at the top of the fight, and then they do get the kill down to Wallflower.
Oh, there's going to be a flash hook from
Nice
Yama
hook.
on real time. Landed on the snow. Here comes the Assault and Battery. Landed on to Levitate, who's getting forced out of the fight. But now it's DMK, who's up a little bit too far. He's got to flash back over in order to keep himself alive. And nothing finished off there. Quacker still on defending the split push duty. And it is just getting harder and harder for Gragas on that side. With the Hull Breaker completed, Tony Top is in full solo push mode. He trusts his team to be able to withstand the onslaught. And so far, they've been able to do it.
They really have here. The gold lead extends to a 7,500 gold lead as Tony decided to start up the Baron here. It's not a real easy way for CCG to get through here. It's going to be tough.
Ooh, they get the vision. They see that Baron's at about half. DMK is here. This would be a 50-50. TikTok Tony Top, they're just going to back away, though. They just want to buy more time for Tony to have this one-on-one matchup up against Quacker. They know that they're winning the whole way this is going. DMK and crew, they need to find a way to force TikTok Tony Top to take some kind of fight. Quacker pops the explosive cask in the side lane, just trying to push back Tony Top. It looks like they've been able to pick up a turret for their troubles, but that's about all, as Quacker just doing his best to buy time.
Yeah, doing his best to buy time for the time being. And they will not take the Baron, being dissuaded by CCG. CCG moving now around the map, trying to soak up as much gold as they can before the 30-minute mark. Trying to make up some of this gold lead, which they have indeed managed to do here, down under 7K. It's good to see him making some progress. Yunbi, DMK,
Little
trying to get behind
here.
Sudsy.
Sudsy, he's underneath an Azir turret, but they're going to shrug that one off pretty easily. Teleport is coming in from Tony, but he's going to be too late here to get Sudsy out for sure. One more auto will do it for Yunbi as he's going to flash away to safety, but he gets marked by the Grand Challenge and taken out. And there goes DMK to join him. Yama now getting rained down on from the side by Levitate, and Wallflower with a big flank, going to get the double knockup. Moves forward on a Sophist Sage, who's going to drop it. It's only Quacker left alive to try to defend the game for CCG. He is going to have to get out of here as soon as he can, but it's a flash forward from Levitate. He might not have anywhere left to go. Pops the barrier, takes the one-on-one. Quacker looking to finish off this Lucian, but it's just not going to happen as Levitate finishes off the ace, and that just might be Tony Top finishing off the game. Was a very close series the whole way through, but they finally get their draft. They finally get their early game advantage, and they play it out to perfection. TikTok Tony Top have qualified for the promotion tournament.
Really well played from Tony Top here. Exceptional job from them. The Fiora looking incredible on Tony Top for sure. Dominating that top lane and eventually giving them the pushing power to be able to end the game out quickly at 30 minutes here. Really well played from everybody on this side. Levitate 301, big performance there in the Lucian Nambi. Yeah, incredible job done from them.
For sure, a fantastic series out of Tony Top there. I mean, if I'm giving out an MVP award, it's got to be going to Wallflower for this series. I mean, he has done such a fantastic job here for TikTok Tony Top. Always in DMK's jungle, a huge part of their victory here in this game number 3, and with a really solid performance in game number 2 as well. I mean, his Wukong has just been terrific. And, you know, once they get their game plan going, once TikTok Tony Top gets their early advantage, which they are very adept at doing, especially with this duo of solo laners they've got for themselves, it is just so hard to stop that train from rolling. And the one game CCG slip up, Tony Top slams the door in their face, and they are going to be moving on in this bracket.
Yep, moving through the bracket here. What an incredible series it was. Got the JPEG of me back up on there. We'll see who won the raffle. I'll go and check. Raffle will be ending soon. Master Skin raffle is going on. Okay, so that's ending soon. Really well played from both sides in this particular series. The closest series I've seen yet in this tournament, and it does eventually go down to Tony Top there. The draft gaps were just absolutely massive, right? I mean, back and forth. It felt like there was always some kind of angle going on, some kind of special look they were having. Looks like Wallflower is good for an interview, so we're going to go ahead and try to get into that in just a little bit here, Gordo.
Yeah, that's hype. I'm really excited to talk to him. Wallflower, he's been around for a long time. He's had a fantastic series here today. He's had a fantastic run with TikTok Tony Top, and he's got a lot of experience as well. Played for Maryville for a long time, played in Academy for a little while. He's gone by many names, and I'm excited to get to talk to him. It'll be a good time saying hello to good old Wallflower there.
I'm curious what other names. Let's go on Leaguepedia real quick.
He went by Iconic when he was in Academy and stuff. Did you just find out that this is Iconic?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I did know Iconic was on the team.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Really well played from him.
He went by, what was it when he was in when he played in Proving Grounds or Scouting Grounds? He was Zoun, like Zoun, I think was the name. So yeah, he's renamed a couple of times. Now going by Wallflower. I mean, more power to you. That's the beauty of esports, right? Is you can change names all the time. It feels like traditional sports, it's like only Ocho Cinco who does that.
Yeah, Zoun, Z-O-U-N. Very interesting. Also, he changed the spelling of Iconic at some point.
How many different ways can you spell Iconic? I didn't know that.
So, originally spelled it with a 0 instead of the O.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a way to spell it.
And then he switched back to the O in 2020. Mid-2020, so. Interesting stuff, for sure.
Fair enough. But yeah, I want to hear
incredible career.
Together. It's the tradition, right? Especially with the new NACLQ format, right, where you could get in to the NACL proper by winning these tournaments. You really expect it's going to be these well-oiled machine, traditional organizations that are going to make the run. The the supernovas of the world, the Maryville universities, even the Team Fish Taco, who's been around for a while and has got a really organized fashion of running things. The CCG, right? We're coming in. They've got management, they've got staff, and instead it's TikTok Tony Top here, a team named after one of the players. Seems to just have been thrown together from the squad. There weren't any big announcements of their roster or anything until it got to the roster announcement show. And they're going to be one of the ones competing in the promotion relegation tournament here. Really excited to talk about that with Wallflower.
Certainly will be there. Looks like he was on Wildcard Gaming back in 2017 too. So a lot of Supernova games. Been all over the place for sure. But
A little bit of history. So we are working on getting Wallflower in here. I'm excited to get to talk to him, as I keep saying. We'll be pulling him in, getting the audio all set up before too long. We've had a little bit of, some times where we haven't been able to hear our interviewees, so we want to make sure you're going to get every bit of what he's willing to share with you guys here. And
yeah, the audio has been kind of weird, but I think we got it figured out yesterday. I think it was pretty good then. Yeah, so should be everything good in here now.
All right, looks like we're going to be pulling
let's do it.
Wallflower in here. Let's get him in here, Gurf. Get him in. I'm ready. I'm ready for Wallflower, baby.
I'm ready. Pull him in. If you don't, I will.
Now interviewing. Just a big text there. There we go. Tony Jungle Wallflower. Wallflower, welcome to the Discord call, my friend. We should have your audio on the broadcast. Congratulations on your win. Congratulations on qualifying for the promotion relegation tournament.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. So first things first, we were just talking about it. Take us through the name change. What's the name change, man?
I never really liked my old IGN because I just kind of picked it because it was just like a one-word thing, and I was like, yeah, I just picked it because it sounded cool, but
I got you.
it doesn't really fit my. I don't know, it's kind of cringe to call yourself iconic. So
I wasn't gonna say that, but if you say that, then yeah, that's I'd agree with you there. If you say it, incredible series, man. I mean, top to bottom. Game one, Belveth, it's so solid. A 48-minute game with that champion must be like a dream. But I want to take you back to draft that first game. What are you thinking going into the Nautilus jungle? When did you realize it was going to be the Nautilus jungle?
I realized it was Nautilus jungle when they picked Karma. So, my pick was pretty not good because I didn't know what to pick that much. So I just picked like my comfort pick, I guess. And then, it honestly didn't work out that well, but we got like a free Baron at one point. So it like kind of let us scale into the game a bit more. And yeah, it was nice to get that win.
Absolutely. Great scaling performance there. It really feels like you guys feel way more comfortable with snowballing the early leads than, playing for a much more late game style. 2 games there end up going super late.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you're less comfortable in those sorts of situations, or do you think it's just like how your team likes to play to be able to get the early lead and just keep on rotating around the map, taking all the turrets and playing a real straightforward aggressive game plan?
Yeah, those games definitely were going a bit late, and we were falling behind in the early game a lot. So I think I was kind of dropping the ball in the early game, personally. I didn't play so well. I didn't play so well in the early games, those games, but yeah, I think it's just we did scale up in most of those games and just had some comeback wins, so something we need to work on.
Hell yeah, man. Really incredible series from you in particular. We're going to go ahead and name you the MVP of the series here on our broadcast. Just congrats on that, man, because you
Nice.
blew it out of the water. I can't believe the levels of success you had on the Wukong in particular. The engages were always there. The heavy team fights was all there for you, man, and you really made a difference for them.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think the credit should be a bit spread out. I think everyone on the team played pretty well, and yeah, I think it was a team effort today.
Yeah, certainly a team effort.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to shout out? Wallflower, anybody you wanted to talk up on the stream here while we have you?
Just shout out everyone supporting me and all my teammates. Yeah, I just appreciate all the support I get from everyone. everyone
Congratulations
watching.
on that one. Do want to hear one more thing from you. So you guys have qualified for the promotion tournament. Obviously, going to be playing through the rest of this OQ for seeding here. But any thoughts on some of the teams you might potentially face in that qualifier? You know, we know who the relegations are from NACL. Have you guys been paying close attention to that NACL bracket in their playoffs to see who you might be potentially facing to try to relegate and take their spot?
Yeah, I know our potential opponents. Haven't really put too much thought into like who we're gonna play yet, just because nothing's locked in.
Mhm.
But or, like the seating for us isn't locked in at least. But I think we have a fighting chance against any of the teams, so I think it'll be all right. We just gotta play well on the day.
Good
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
Good stuff. So looking forward to seeing you in that double elim bracket. Looking forward to seeing you in the rest of this bracket here for NACLs. It looks like you are going to be moving on. I think you guys the winner of the Native Maryville series, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. So
Yeah, they're in a banger
be
right
fun.
now, so gotta be ready to face either of them. But Maryville won game one, so it might be a run back to the finals.
All
But we gotta
right.
try to
Back to
take it this
finals in
time.
the semis.
Yeah.
What we like to see. Well, yeah, you already gave your shout out, so thanks so much again for joining us, Wallflower. X-Man, you got anything else you want to get out of old Wallflower here before we let him go and get some scouting done on his future opponents?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for doing the interview, man. We always appreciate talking to you, answering our questions, all that stuff. I know the fans at home love hearing from you a lot more than they love hearing from us. That is for sure. So it's good getting you on the broadcast and getting you out here. Hopefully, we can get you out here more often, man. Appreciate the interview.
Yeah, it's no problem. Thank you. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks again to Wallflower for joining us here, and that's pretty much going to do it here for the CCG broadcast. We've given away all the skins we have got for ourselves. We've shown all the games we have here to show. I've been Gordo. This has been Axeman. We've had Gurf on production. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We will see you all next time. Check out some more of the NACLQ broadcasts while they're still going on. And we will see you when we see you.